and welcome to another episode of Some of Our Parts, the podcast where two friends talk about the movies that add up to make us who we are. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Jim. And this week it was Lindsay's pick. Lindsay, what did you get for us this weekend?
So, when this comes out, the World Cup will have just finished yesterday. I do have specific hopes of who wins and who loses, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx it. So, I'm just putting the thoughts out to the universe. But I grew up playing soccer. Soccer is very important to me. And so I picked a movie about soccer. I picked Bend It Like Beckham from 2002.
Oh, okay. So I have heard of this movie, but I can honestly say I've never seen the movie until now, although I didn't know who David Beckham was. So mostly because of you after watching the Spice Girls, I
I
knew
was
that
going to say Victoria,
right,
Mr. Posh
I
Spice.
was getting ready to say he married Posh Spice. So, but
Yes.
anyway, well, that's a good pick then for the World Cup coming up on us. So I won't ask you who your favorite team or who you want to win coming up. So I was really kind of hoping England would get in. Um,
I was hoping for them too, and I was so disappointed by how that game went.
yeah,
I was actually like both the teams that I was rooting for in the semifinals didn't win. I was rooting for France too.
that was kind of. I don't know a whole lot about soccer, but I understand the France Spain game was kind of an upset, right?
Uh,
Or not
I
really.
not so much an upset, but like France did not like show up in the way that like imagine you have two really good teams that are about to play and you
Mm.
expect it's going to be a battle and then one team just like
Oh, you mean like the USA and Belgium?
sure. Sure. Here's the thing. I know they get me every time. This is the problem. The US men every time I'm like I'm not going to root for them because they suck. They're going to fall apart. And every time I'm like, "Huh. Well, maybe it'll be different." And it never is. It never is.
They've never gone past the round of 16, have they?
I don't know.
Ever?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
just
so
like,
either. But that's the comments that I heard all about that was that the U.S. team didn't show up for the game against Belgium. So,
no. Yeah, they were like just
but
not playing
and I
very
was watching
well.
a little bit of the England um, game, and England was up 1-0, but it was like early. So
Yeah, and Argentina scored two goals like right like at the end, within
yeah,
like 6 minutes of each other.
thanks to you know who, Messi.
Messy. Ugh. Yeah, no, I was very disappointed with that. Also, like, I mean, England just like they were like, we scored a goal and we're all just gonna live back here in our penalty box for the rest of the game. And it's like, that's not the way to do it. You got to keep trying to score goals. Anyways, so I've
Yeah.
been World Cup like 24/7. I
Okay.
have my own little written bracket that I follow. I have my own little during the group stage, I keep track, I keep score.
Okay. Do you have a
So,
jersey?
I don't. I
Oh,
don't know that I ever
okay.
have.
No.
I don't have like a favorite like player that I would
Player.
have a jersey for. Maybe like
Okay.
on the women's side, I would get like a USA women's jersey. I think I used to have a Mia Hamm jersey actually when I was a kid. So
Okay.
it's always nice to see like little clips of Mia Hamm in this movie because like I said, I started playing soccer when I was 4. So
Oh,
like it's been my whole life until my Achilles tendon no longer wished to participate 7 years ago. I'm too old. It was like, you're too old for this. Stop. I'm not too old, but like
uh,
my Achilles tendon no longer wanted to play
no,
soccer.
it's like the guys in their 40s still trying to play basketball at the level that they were in their 20s. And yeah, I get that. So, yeah, the body at
Yeah.
one point says, maybe not.
So I do have a Women's World Cup t-shirt that I still
Oh,
regularly wear because if you'll recall the 1999 Women's World Cup, iconic Brandy Chastain takes up, that was in the United States, and I went to one of the games.
ooh,
Our US women played Brazil in DC. And I went to that game and I have a shirt that I got then. And it was obviously too big for me then because it fits me very well now. And I have
okay.
grown since I was 9. But yeah, I don't remember much of that game. Mostly, I just remember like we were sitting kind of high up and I was small because I was a child. And I just remember like a lot of people standing up. So I couldn't see that well. But but it was cool. And I remember watching that final game when Brandy Chastain hit her PK, like took the shirt up. Like I was in a hotel room in Williamsburg, Virginia, because we had just gone to Busch Gardens. So it was like I remember it very vividly, and the the U.S. women's national team was like incredibly important to me when I was a kid. I had a Mia Hamm poster on my wall that I think I like kept it. I think it's still at my mom's house because I was like, I can't get rid of this because like Mia Hamm was like very important to me.
Sure.
So, but yeah, and then this movie came out when I was 12, and so I really enjoyed it because it's a movie about soccer. It's a movie about women playing soccer, especially. And I always, one of my best friends is Indian. So, like, we enjoyed it because, like, you can kind of see the sort of like first generation, like culture clash kind of thing that
Hmm.
is really common. So,
Now, did
uh,
you see it at the movie theater?
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like remember it, but I have it on DVD. So we watched it like
A lot.
many times after it. Like there are definitely like lines from it that I remember that like we would still say to each other and like know exactly what we're talking about. Specifically, I will tell you the line. I'm going to turn these mosquito bites into juicy, juicy mangoes. It'll get us every time.
Oh, okay. So, well, they had to, I guess, do what they work their magic, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's always some funny. I also love the end when the Keira Knightley's mom takes the shoes and says like your lesbian feet, and the older Indian aunties are like, I, I thought she was a Pisces. We're not Lebanese, we're Punjabi.
I really enjoyed like some, yeah, we'll get into it, but some of the misunderstandings,
Hmm.
and I think that makes for good comedy. We've talked about, that before where,
Hmm.
people think one thing and it's completely different, but, it can look like one other thing. And then it's just a comedy of errors, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly, exactly. So I think it combines a lot of things that feel relatable and likable to me. So it was
Yeah.
always one that I enjoyed, and yeah.
And it
So that's
still it still comes on every now and then.
I
Maybe not
think
as
so.
much.
Yeah.
Maybe around what, every 4 years
Yeah.
when the World Cup is playing.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe more next year when it's the Women's World Cup.
oh, probably, yeah. So, yeah,
When it's the
hopefully.
better one.
Well, the ones that can win.
Right. Less flop and less flopping, I think.
I thought that was a whole part of the sport. It's like the NBA, isn't it? I mean, if you
Yeah.
you have to shoot, pass, and flop, and maybe not
Hmm.
necessarily in that order. So,
Right, right. Ooh, the Women's World Cup next summer is in Brazil.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I'm excited for
Just,
that. That'll be
I'm
fun.
sure uh, that'd be there's going to be a big party down there. They party anyway, right? In Brazil, and that where Carnival or wherever
Hmm.
it is. So
Hmm.
there you
And they
go.
have some big old stadiums like
Do they?
Maracana. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like here where it's Atlanta. It's
Well, I
just
love that is something that makes me laugh that they can't say like the branding
the
like all of
brand
our
name.
NFL
I know.
stadiums.
Yeah.
Like when they keep calling MetLife, it's like New York, New Jersey Stadium.
Well, I think it's funny though that they can't say, "Oh, it's the Chick-fil-A,"
Right.
Hawaiian
Dallas,
Punch. Yeah,
Seattle,
Atlanta.
Philadelphia. It's like, okay, that's the link, right? Like, we
Right,
know what all of these are, but it's so
right.
funny. Los Angeles,
Where's the final going to be played?
New York, New Jersey Stadium,
Got it. Okay. All right. Not sponsored
Atlanta.
by, not
Yeah.
sponsored by
Not sponsored by MetLife.
MetLife. Yeah, that is kind of odd to hear that, when they talk about it, because you're thinking, where in New York? And then, oh, well, wait a
Right.
minute. Yeah, yeah. What stadium? What stadium is that?
Yeah. No, that it's definitely in New Jersey. Just New
Yeah,
Jersey.
yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
eh,
so I think a lot of people have caught like World Cup fever. So
sure.
here's a great movie to watch to kind of continue that feeling going as the World Cup is wrapping up.
I don't think you can turn on the TV, one without coverage, but also I think every fast food franchise has some sort of affiliation with World Cup because you can go to McDonald's and get nine, whatever
I
commemorative
see
World Cup.
that picture of the cups. I walk past a McDonald's going to my office every time I go in my office, and
The
it's,
It's
yeah,
there. So
they have it in the window.
so do you have eight of them?
Yeah, I
You
have a
just
whole
need one
set.
more. Okay, you just need the one. So
Exactly. That's going to be my fine china that I put out for guests
there
now.
you go. Yeah. Yeah, if there's more than nine people, tough, you're out of luck, right? So
You don't get
yeah,
a drink. Sorry.
yeah, no drink for you. Well, good pick though for very timely and
Yeah.
it's a good movie
Hmm.
and it's got a really good cast, which like I told you before we started recording, I didn't realize all the people that were in it that
Hmm.
I knew. I knew of one person before I saw the movie, and that's only because of a show that you and I both share a
Yeah,
great interest in. So
of course. Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did very much.
Good.
You know, because I don't know anything about soccer, I'll be the first one to say, but it was, you watch other countries how they embrace soccer to them. I guess it's like football to us, our
Hmm.
football, and it's just to see how passionate they are about that,
Hmm.
and and even at that they have the leagues and stuff from for young kids like we do with pee wee football and then
Hmm.
whatever it may be. Yeah, so but I liked the scenes about the strategy and stuff and the coaching and everything like that. One other thing I'll say real quick before we begin is I was impressed with showing how they work out, like the
Hmm.
drills and stuff, not realizing, I guess really I just thought that maybe they ran or but like really a lot of strength training and fitness training, not just, running and stuff. So that was
Hmm.
impressive to me. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, soccer's like, it's tiring.
I'll
You have to do a
bet.
lot of, like, the field is big. The field is bigger than a football field, first of all. It's wider and longer. And you're running constantly, right? You don't stop every 2 seconds like in football. This is what I used to like have debates with my dad about. My dad's a high school football coach. I played soccer. I was like, oh, we don't get to rest every 2 minutes like you guys do. You're playing for 45 minutes. Like if
Yeah.
you're a pro, 45 minutes straight. You might like stop for a second if like the ball goes out or whatever, but like
But it's not
they
like, yeah,
add
like
that time back. So
oh,
you're
oh,
playing for 45 minutes. That's why like you see
oh, I
if
didn't
you
know
watch the World
that.
Cup games, they do that. It's like 90 minutes plus
Oh,
7 or whatever.
yeah.
That's the stop that accounts for all the times they've stopped.
I
So
didn't
you
know.
have to play a full 45 minutes regardless of what happens. So like if there's a couple minutes where a guy's down with an injury, they add that time back at the end. So that's why you see that added time.
Oh,
So it's whereas football it's like you're
oh,
stopped, the
yeah,
clock is stopped, like
yeah.
whatever. In soccer, it's like there is someone keeping like the full time, but they keep that clock running and then they just add back whatever wasn't played at the end. But in high school, like when you're younger, you play a little bit less. But like in high school, it was 40-minute halves
Oh gosh.
and it was a lot of running. I played midfield, so you're like covering the whole thing.
I mean, yeah, I
But
mean, you just can't go, just sort of like, sit around or, wait for the ball to come down the field. I'm sure that
mhm,
you always had to be on the move, right? Or
right.
always working to, do things and
Hmm.
stuff. So,
Yeah, and you got to like speed up and slow down and change direction. So you need some like you need that endurance, but you also need some agility. You got to kick the ball hard, so you need strength, but you also need it to be able to do it accurately. And then like, even like they talk in this movie about bend it like Beckham, like that's a specific thing. Like
hmm,
Beckham's really good at bending the ball. So like you'll
yeah.
see the path of the ball doesn't go straight, it turns. And that's like what Jess did getting the kick around the wall. Yeah, and then you got to be able to like head it and like dribble around people, like all of these different skills that you have to be able to do.
Or let it hit your chest, I guess, or
Yeah.
bump it, do the chest thing where you can,
Yeah.
sort of do
Basically
that,
anywhere on your body but your hands and arms.
but your hands and arms. So,
Yeah, so it's like head, chest, knees, feet.
so before we get into the movie, then, and I'll ask you, and then I'll throw in my wild card, or so to speak. So,
Hmm.
all the great soccer players, and you said you've been So Beckham, how good was Beckham?
Um, I think that he was good at like specific things, like bending the ball. Like I think I also like saw him play, but I saw him play like when he came to America, so this was sort of like the end of his career.
Hmm.
But do think that like playing a really good cross or like taking a really good free kick. Because like by
Hmm.
that time when I saw him like, in the 2000s, like that was kind of what he did. Even on England, like if you watch like the 2006 World Cup, he was still on the team, I believe. And he would just kind of like hang around and then it was like, okay, it's time to take a free kick. David Beckham's going to take the free
Beckham's
kick.
going to take the kick.
So I didn't watch him a ton before that, so I don't if anyone's listening to this, like I don't pretend to
No, I was just
have the
curious.
most informed opinion on David Beckham, but I think that like he was very good at like that kind of thing. So I don't know that I would say he was like one of the best ever
Ever.
overall, but I think that like he was very good at like some specific skills, you know?
What about Messi?
Well, everybody says Messi is the GOAT. So I just don't like Argentina.
Oh, okay. So, but
So and I used to be a very big Cristiano Ronaldo fan, and so it's sort of like it's like a Peyton Manning, Tom Brady kind of thing
hmm,
between the two of
hmm,
them. Although I do think that like Messi has done more like with his country.
hmm.
So like, Ronaldo hasn't led Portugal to like win the World Cup or anything, and Messi has led Argentina to win last time and then be in the final again. So that's that. But
The
I mean
reason I'm,
he is very good. Like if you watch,
oh,
he just
yeah,
creates things. He's like he gets through like four defenders.
yeah,
Right? Like there was a point in the England game where he was like dribbling through them and like three of them came by and they just had to foul him eventually because he was just about to like
just
get
that
through all
good.
of them. Yeah.
But what I
But
was
yeah.
going to, so in my generation, so the big name was always Pele,
Yeah.
and
Pele,
and
Diego
then
Maradona.
yeah, so and like we didn't follow soccer, but
Mm,
nobody, but you would every time the World Cup, you would see it on the news or whatever, and then
mm.
I just wonder how,
I mean,
just asking your opinion, was
still,
Pele still is he still revered as because he was
yes.
the best? I mean,
Pele and Diego Maradona are still held up. Like if you
okay,
ask like soccer people like who's on your like Mount Rushmore,
they're still
almost
there.
everybody still includes those two people.
Okay,
Yes.
I was just curious. So because that was always you don't hear I don't hear the commentators mention anybody like bring up Pele or anything like that. Like
Mm,
even when because I watch golf, I follow golf, and they'll bring
mm,
up like the old guys like Ben Hogan and Jack Nicklaus, and
mm.
back from 50, 60, even 70 years ago. But I don't hear that in the soccer commentators or so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Like, well, he reminds me of Pele, or he's no Pele, that sort of thing, or whatever. But
Mm.
anyway, just
Yeah.
okay.
Well, Bend It Like Beckham is directed by Gurinder Chadha, who is an Indian British director. Well, she was born in Kenya because there was a lot of Indians that lived in Africa. That's how like Zora Mamdani was born in Uganda. The
Oh,
dad in this movie talks about being in Kenya. My friend, her dad was in Kenya also, I believe. So a lot of Indian folks lived in Africa. Gurinder Chadha also she wrote this movie too, and she also wrote and directed other movies like Baji on the Beach, Bride and Prejudice, Blinded by the Light. A lot of movies that are dealing with like Indian people in England. She also directed the movie adaptation of one of my favorite books from childhood called Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. The actual book title is Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging, but it's about like it's basically like Bridget Jones's Diary, but like a teenage girl
oh, okay.
in England. And it was one of my favorite book series. So
Oh,
shout out to her for that. So yeah, she also wrote this movie. The other writers were Guljit Bindra, who does not have a Wikipedia page, so I'm sorry, and Paul Maeda Burgess, who also co-wrote like all those other movies that I listed
oh,
with her. So
okay. Is that her writing partner or just someone that she just collaborated with a lot? I mean,
um,
like when I say writing partner, like Lewis and Lowe and stuff like that with
Yeah. Oh, they're married.
oh, well, there you go. So
So I guess that's why they collaborate a lot. Um,
gee, I wonder what came first, the writing collaboration or the marriage collaboration. So
that's a good question. Well, they
that's
met
very
in 1994 and they
hmm.
married in the mid 90s. So I
Well,
guess the marriage came first.
oh, okay.
Anyways, the movie takes place in the UK, as we mentioned. So they use UK terms like football and boots and kit. So we'll cover those as we go uh, throughout the the movie.
And this takes place in current day, right?
Yeah.
This, yeah. So
Hmm.
we're not going back in time from 2002. So it's okay.
Yeah.
I was just
It's
curious.
contemporary. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right.
well, should we talk about the movie?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the movie opens with we're seeing the credits, but we're hearing the commentary from a Manchester United match, which at the time David Beckham was playing for Manchester United before he went to Real Madrid, and then he eventually came to the United States to play for the MLS for LA Galaxy, which I saw him play for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Out in
played
LA?
no, when they came to play DC United.
No kidding.
Mhm.
That's cool.
I mean, he didn't play that much, but we
Well,
did
but
get
even
to see
still,
him. And my
yeah.
friend held up a poster I'd bought her of David Beckham. So,
Oh, okay.
but anyway, so then we see the match, and it's clearly real footage because it has real people like David Beckham and Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs, and you see David Beckham. It's them versus Anderlecht. Anderlecht.
Well, I just know from I was looking at the footage and I thought, is David Beckham like 19 years old in this film? It also he's got a shaved head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was one of his like his
Trademarks.
yeah, well, he had many distinct hair eras.
Oh, okay. Did he have
Um
cornrows at one time?
yes,
Okay,
exactly what I was
yeah.
gonna say. So he had sort of like longer hair, he had cornrows, he had like long hair he would wear a headband with, he had the shaved head. So it's many hair looks for David
Was
Beckham.
and this was probably before all the accumulation of all the tattoos of all the ink.
Probably so, yeah.
I mean, maybe at the very beginning of it. So,
Yeah. So yeah, he and like this kind of clip finishes with a he does a great cross and you'll see this is kind of like his thing, right? And it bends because he
hmm.
kicks it and it like curves. And on the end of it is Jess Bomra, the main character of this movie, with some truly terrible like inserting her into this picture. She gets the header and like scores the winning goal. And it's like a whole thing. And then I love it goes to back to like the studio and the commentators there who are real commentators.
Oh, okay.
Like you can see, especially like Gary Lineker, like still
Oh, is
like
still commentating.
yeah. So it's Gary Lineker, Alan Hansen, John Barnes. So these are like legit former professional soccer players, footballers who do and have done commentary.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
talking about Jess and like how great she is. And then they go to her mom on the panel. It's like, aren't you so proud of her? She's like, no, she should not be running around in front of all these men showing her bare legs. And then we see that it's just a daydream. Jess is in her room with a ton of David Beckham posters everywhere and Manchester United, all of that. And her mom busts in and is like, come on, like, your sister's getting married. Tomorrow's the ceremony. Tomorrow's just the engagement ceremony. But like, so Jess has to go shopping with her sister Pinky because the sister's like crying because she's like, I was gonna wear pale pink and that stupid cow decided she was gonna wear pale pink too, so I have to get something else now.
Do you think that was her real name was Pinky?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's
I
a
did.
lot of like nicknames.
Well, I figured. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah. Like they call her fiance Titu, and his name's not Titu. It's
oh,
like
okay.
Tejinder or something like
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah, because Jess's name is
Her name is Jasminder.
yeah. I was getting ready to say because that's. I guess short for, something else. So
Mm. So, they go and like we see Pinky's friends, and it's cool. Like Pinky and Jess are very different. Pinky's very like superficial, just wants to go shopping. She sees her friends. One of her friends is wearing like color contacts, which is like there's such a thing at the time. And she's like, "Well, I was gonna
really?
wear, yeah, I
Oh,
don't like it."
ugh.
She's like,
Okay.
"Well, I was gonna wear my contacts, but I guess I can't now, can I?" And then,
Good accent, by the way.
thank you.
It-
And then we meet another
it-
person.
Her friends are kind of superficial
They
too.
are. That's exactly what I wrote.
They
They're
they they
so
remind me of like
superficial.
California Valley Girls or something.
Right.
It's
They're
like
all just like, oh my God, it's so good to see you.
I know,
Oh my
yeah.
God, in it?
And they don't dress very conservatively, like like you would expect maybe from coming from a traditional
From a nice
family.
Indian girl.
I'm just saying, so
Yeah.
a couple of them will look a little trampy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. So then it cuts to we meet a different person who is Jules, who's gonna become Jess's teammate eventually. Spoiler. And she is with her mom, who is trying to get her to buy some sort of like push-up bra. They have bras that you can like inflate like a little balloon, like a little cushion in it to make yourself look bigger. And Jules just goes to the sports bras, and the mom's like, "No, don't go to the sports bras." And then Jess and her sister Pinky run into Jess's friend Tony and his mom, and Pinky is saying mean stuff about his mom. Like, I hope she wears a sweater to cover up her three stomachs. I was like, oh my God.
No,
But
she was
then,
so mean.
but of course, they're incredibly like respectful to her. They're like, "Hi, Mussy G," like da da da. I thought they said Mussy G. I don't, not for
Uh,
sure. Mussy's like auntie, like it's an auntie word.
okay.
Um, and G, I think this must be like a Punjabi thing, but it's like a sort of honorific at the end of the word. Like, like Japan, they'll be like da 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 son.
Son.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, but Jess later meets up with Tony and some other guys to play soccer in the park. And she like schools the boys. And Jules is going for a run in the park and she sees it and watches. And then Jess is at home talking about things with her David Beckham poster, like you do, just chatting.
Oh, she's kind of like talking to him, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? That's what I was thinking. Is she like just talking out loud, or is she like talking to David?
I think she's talking to David. She's talking to
Okay,
Bex.
okay.
Then it's her dad comes, we meet him, and you can see he seemed like they seem a little closer. Maybe he works at Heathrow, so they're in the London area. And she has to help him. She has to hold the ladder for him to hang up some lights in front of the house to
I know
prepare for
the
the
decoration
engagement.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was because at first I thought they're not hanging Christmas lights, so it's
Yeah.
like
Then it's time for this like little engagement ceremony party. It's wild the amount of parties they are having in their little house. There are
it.
so many people in there.
It does seem kind of tiny, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's packed. So,
Yeah. When my friend got married, who was Indian, like everything was like in a hall. Or there was like one thing at a house, but it was like her aunt and uncle who have like a really big house.
so it was there.
Yeah. So yeah, and then of course like Jess is serving food and all the older ladies, all the aunties are like, "Oh, soon this will be you." And oh, we can find you a nice man to marry. And Jess is just like,
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say you can tell by the look on her face that's the last thing on her mind. So,
And it seems like she's about like 18, 19 in
I was
this, based on like,
well, because later on we learned she's going to school.
yeah.
So that's what I thought. I thought maybe
Mhm.
like a senior in high school or something, like
Yeah.
in our class system, in our school system.
Yeah. Because sometimes they
Okay,
like, their ending of high school is like different from ours. So I
right,
think she's probably, let's say like 18.
18.
She's
Yeah,
like, relax.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I also love this part that someone's cell phone rings and everyone immediately pulls out their cell phone thinking it's them. Because this is like 2002. This is like probably all of those people like just got their cell phone
Cell
for the first
phones.
time. And so they're like, oh, was it me?
Yeah.
But it's the
It's the
it's Pinky's
I
fiance.
was going to say it's the groom to be, and
Yeah.
yeah. So,
And she's kind of like, "Ugh, put your phone down." Like another day, Jess is at the park playing soccer with the guys, and Pinky's friends are there. They're kind of ogling them, like, "Oh my God, that guy's fit." And then,
oh yeah, because one of the
um,
guys takes off his shirt or whatever, the tall guy, and then
yeah, and
they're
Jess
all
is like,
like drooling and
yeah, Jess is like, "Ew." And then Tony calls her, like, "Hey, come back over." And they're like, "Oh, it's your lover boy. Go follow him." And she's like, "Well, I'm not a slut like you lot."
so we kind of get the idea of what they're like.
Yeah. And they also are like, why is this what they call her Agora, which is gringo. Like how like Latinos
Oh,
say gringo. It's like
yeah,
Gora is like that
Gora.
for Indian people. So they're like, why is this girl watching Jess?
Oh,
Because it was
yeah,
Jules is like on
Jules.
another bench watching.
Well, yeah, because she came back, I think, she came back to see her, didn't she, or watch her play, or
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Jules comes up at the end of them playing to be like, hey, like I'm on a women's team. Like, do you want to come try out? And the guys are being all like sexist and jokey. They're like, "Oh, do you guys all just like take off your shirts and have pillow fights in the locker room after a game?" And it's just like,
I
no.
know Jules, even Jules, like gives them a look. It's like that.
Yeah.
These guys are idiots. So,
Yes. And then, cuts to the team practicing. And we see
hmm.
all the women and like, they're running, jumping, dribbling, juggling, et cetera, et cetera. They seem to be skilled.
Yeah, and also there's a diverse group of women.
Hmm.
Which I thought, oh, okay, so it's not just like because sometimes you'll see a group of athletes and it's just like one segment, and I thought with Jules it was going to be like maybe affluent, maybe white girls,
Hmm.
yeah, it looks like there's a couple of other Indian ladies playing, and some maybe African American,
Hmm.
um, and some English girls, like traditional English girls.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Like the captain is a black woman. Other
mhm.
like white girls. Yeah, it's a whole mixed group. So,
It's like I said, it was a diverse group. So, but you're right, they all look very skilled and very fit.
hmm
So,
Jess comes to try to join, and the coach, this guy named Joe, is like, "Where do you mainly play?" And she's like, "Oh, at the park." And he's like, "No, I mean like on the field. Like what position?" And she says she'll play anywhere, but mostly up front on the right side is the best. So then he's like, "Okay, lace up your boots. Those are cleats." And she's like, "Oh, I don't have any." So she just plays in what she has, and he's clearly like, okay, I don't think this is gonna work out.
don't we call them tennis shoes, but they call them joggers. Isn't that what they
Trainers.
trainers? Thank you. Sorry.
Hmm. Um, yeah, and I did one thing I was like, they practice in their game uniforms,
Oh,
which is not what happens. Like I would say usually like English clubs, they do have like a uniform that they practice in, but it's not the same as their game uniforms. These people seem to only they have the one uniform and they wear it all the time, which like seems like a laundry nightmare.
well, maybe they didn't have a whole lot of money. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, just like wear regular clothes to practice then.
Yeah, or yeah, just t-shirts and shorts, right, or something. So,
Right. Like every team I've played on, you just wear regular clothes to practice.
yeah. Oh, okay.
And, but
Did
I
you did
also
you
think,
have practice uniforms?
no,
And no, okay.
no. We had like pennies to put on. Like they had to, if we were like scrimmaging, so it was clear like who's on what team,
Oh, okay.
like to put on over your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we didn't have practice uniforms. But I think that it might be more common in like systems like in England and in Europe to
Yeah.
have
Oh,
that because
practice.
then it doesn't, it's not like on you to have
Yeah.
all the stuff, which is part of like the whole conversation about like the US not being as good
Uh-huh.
is our system is like a pay to play system, right? If
Yeah.
you're gonna play like high level soccer, you have to be able to pay to join the travel team and pay to have all the stuff.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And so
Oh,
that's why we
oh.
don't develop talent the same way as other countries do.
Well, no, we have baseball and football and tennis and golf and I mean they have all those other things too, but not we don't put the money in soccer like like they do. Um,
Yeah.
if we had if we put the if we had athletes that played soccer instead of our football,
Hmm.
we'd probably be a lot better, don't you think? I
Probably.
mean, focus that energy
Hmm.
into those sports as opposed to the other ones.
Yeah.
Can you imagine LeBron James playing soccer? Somebody like that, or with that, say with that, that ability, and then also then and putting that time in, into
Hmm.
training and stuff for those skills.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. But
Although he
yeah.
probably couldn't run for more than.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's so big. He could get some great headers.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
serve the ball into the box to LeBron's head.
LeBron's head, yeah, just bounce it off of his head.
Yeah. Yeah. Or there was like one team, I think it was Uruguay, who had like a huge goalie.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
goal. Ball's not
Yeah.
going over his head, you know?
No, there you go.
He just
So,
has to be willing to like jump and dive and stuff.
right.
Goalie's like the scariest position, so that's why I never want to play it anymore. I played when I was like little, but I didn't want to play when I got older.
What?
Goalie.
Goalie. Oh, I'm sure. That'd be tough, I think. That'd be a
Yeah.
tough job.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. So, anyways, as practice wraps up, we see they're kind of talking about it. Jules was basically saying like, there was the men's team around here and there wasn't a women's team. And Joe was playing, but then he got hurt, so she kind of pestered him to form the girls' team. And you can see Jules and Joe are kind of like, oh, is there like a flirty vibe here?
little spark of something, don't you
Yeah.
think?
And Jess is asked back, though. Joe
Mm-hmm.
likes her. She can be on the team, so she gets to come back. And Jules is talking to her. She wants to play professional soccer, which at the time was really more of a thing in the United States. Now, there's a lot more parity in Europe, I will say. Like a lot of the big English clubs have a female equivalent. Like
Oh, okay.
the ones you hear of, like Chelsea and Manchester United and like Tottenham and like all Liverpool and all of them have
Yeah.
a
Have a
women's equivalent.
women's counterpart.
Yeah. And I think in a lot of the other European countries as well.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the leagues that people hear about. So, but at that time, I guess that the US, which at the time was WUSA, I think. Now we have a different women's league. It's NWSL, but
Oh, okay.
National Women's Soccer League. I think then it was WUSA.
I
But that
believe.
was when it was the like Mia Hamm and Brandy Chastain and all of them were playing.
Yeah, I because not that I know that much, but I think it was the only professional was here in the States, wasn't it, at that time for women?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I'm looking at like Chelsea, for example, and they have had a team since 1992, but they weren't really like,
Not on the same.
yeah, they weren't directly like funded by like Chelsea, like the men's team,
Oh, okay.
Chelsea FC. So, and they've been like promoted and stuff since then. So, anyways, yeah, I think it was like not fully um there wasn't parity, like I said. So, Jess has not told her parents that she's playing, but she kind of assumes that, like, since Jules is playing openly, she was like, oh, Jules's parents must be so supportive. And cut to Jules is playing soccer at home with her dad, who's like clearly very supportive. And her mom is like, oh my God, like, you're never going to get a boyfriend like this. And she says,
Just say, is that the tiniest backyard in the world with that little soccer net, the goal?
yes.
It's like it's not even 10 feet long, it doesn't look like. It doesn't look very, very big. So,
Yeah, well, they're living in like the greater London area,
yeah.
so
So, but I was just sitting there thinking, boy, if nothing else, that'll build up her confidence. I can't miss.
right. And the mom
Sorry.
says, I love this. She's like, there's a reason why Sporty Spice is the only one without a fella.
Going back to her mom though, but her dad is like he's just happy that she's not out running around after boys and stuff.
Right. He's like, I'd rather her not have a boyfriend.
Yeah, he says I'm in heaven right now. He goes, this is the greatest thing I could ask for. He goes, I have a daughter who doesn't care about boys.
Right.
It's like what's wrong with you?
Exactly. Exactly. And also, spoiler alert, she does care about boys,
Hmm.
but we'll get there.
Yes.
So Jess comes back to practice. Coach Joe gives her boots and a kit, cleats and a uniform. But the uniform has shorts. And Jess is like, oh, I have to wear shorts? Like, I can't just keep on my track bottoms. And he's like, no, you got to wear the shorts. And she goes in the locker room where the girls are just like changing and talking and like very casual. And she's like, oh, she's doing the thing that like I remember from like girls in like middle school when we're like 12, when you like figure out how to like change your shirt without taking a shirt off
Oh, okay.
because you're like awkward in front of other people, which Jess is doing. She
Hmm.
puts the other shirt on top and then you pull the other one out.
Wiggle the other one out. So,
Yeah. So she's uncomfortable and then she gets dressed and all the other girls are out on the field warming up and Jess is like sitting in the stands and the coach is like, what's happening? So he goes to talk to her and she has like a huge burn scar on one of her thighs, which is why she never wears shorts. And Joe's like, "Oh, like does it like hurt? Like does it affect how you can move?" And she's like, "Well, no." And then he shows her his scars because he had some like career-ending knee problems and he's had multiple surgeries and he had some pretty ugly surgery scars on his knee. And he's like, "Well, these mean I can't play and you can still play. So let's get out there." And she does tell the whole story about like she's trying to get like toast off the stove or something for beans on toast
yeah.
and her like pants caught on fire.
And her
And
her sister put her in water or something, and it melted the plastic to her
yeah,
or her pants to her leg or something, and then
it was a
yeah,
pretty
just
bad story
it
and
made
it's a
her
pretty bad scar. It's pretty
yeah,
gnarly.
yeah. So
But he's like, also no one will care. Like when you're out playing on the field, literally no one will notice that. So
yeah,
just let's just go.
he sort of kicks her in the butt, but in a nice way. I thought, it's
Yeah.
like he's like, okay, yeah, this happened, but like you said, she can still play, so
Yep.
let's get out there and play.
And then we get like kind of a montage of them practicing. They're doing all these different dribbling drills. Jess and Jules are practicing taking a free kick either around or over a wall, which for people who have like never watched any soccer, like when there's a free kick, usually the goalie sets up a wall, by which I mean like a few players stand and form a wall to help block part of the goal, so the goalie only has to worry about a smaller part. So then Jess goes to show Tony like her uniform and she's like, "Look, I'm playing." And the other guys make fun of her leg. And then she's like, "And I can still beat you in soccer." And so she's like kind of schooling them a little bit in soccer and then it becomes playful and the guy like picks her up and she's like, "Ah, put me down." And of course, her mother
Mm.
comes up right when this guy has her in his arms and the mom is like, "Oh." And then she goes home and she gets lectured by her parents, her mother specifically. I think she always goes like chi chi chi. Uh like instead of like tis tis tis. That's like her
Oh,
thing.
okay. Is that okay? Oh, that's
She's
okay.
talking about her like showing her legs and having a man with his hands all over her and she's
Oh,
getting so
yeah.
dark being outside because like typically like in I think I'm not trying to speak out of turn, but like in a lot of Asian cultures, including in India, that like it is better to not be as dark for girls especially. And it's the same in like in East Asia
Oh,
too. So
oh,
she
okay.
complains about her getting dark, being outside,
Oh, I see what you're like getting
like
being out
your
in the
skin
sun.
dark. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, I get you.
tanning.
Okay.
because you want to be fair skinned, which of course like is not correct. But she's like, you can't even cook anything. No man is ever gonna want to marry you. And the dad, like, he doesn't say that much, but he's like, you do need to like kind of act like a proper Indian girl.
Hmm.
And then Jess is talking to Tony about it, and she's sort of ranting. She's like, anyone can make aloo gobi, but who can bend a ball like Beckham? Aloo gobi, very good, by the way. It's potato and cauliflower, like
Okay.
curry.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
Is it spicy?
It can be.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote down too while they were training and stuff. I did not know. I don't know if Kira Knightley, Jules, trained, but she had abs.
Yes.
You can see she's got some abs in this
Hmm.
movie. So she also looks like she weighs 90 pounds
I
soaking
was gonna
wet.
say, it's kind of easy to look like you have abs when you're very skinny.
And she is very skinny. So
Yes. I was gonna say, like, for much of my soccer career, I probably had abs. Could you see them? No, they were under a slightly protective layer, you know? I was keeping myself warm. Uh,
I have no doubt about your fitness level. So
uh, so Tony, when Jess is ranting to Tony, like, I want to just play soccer. Why don't they let me play soccer? He's like, your sister always snuck out to see boys. Why don't you just do the same thing? You sneak out, just play soccer. And Jules is there too with them, and she's like, yeah, just like, don't take no for an answer.
mhm.
I work at whatever HEW or something, which I
Something. It's a store, isn't it, or something? Or
yeah. Jules is like, I have a job at the store. Just say you work here
yeah,
with me.
yeah, that you got a
Tell
job
your mom you have a
and
summer job. And then we see that Jess is putting this plan into action. She sneaks out and she has her bag hidden in a sort of bush, like flower
yeah,
bed
out
thing
the
in the front of the
front.
house. Although I was like, maybe you should hide that farther away because you're like right outside the front door.
I know if they all they had to do was look out the window or look out the
Right. And
door and
see
then
you digging in the plant.
in the
Like,
plant for
at
something.
least you got to
So
put it like by the bus stop or something.
yeah,
Um,
so
but anyways, uh, she continues practicing and they're playing games and I remember some of the like goal celebrations that they do because we would try to
oh
like we would
oh
want to do them in games when I
did
was a
you?
kid. Yeah, like
Oh
when the girl who scores and she puts her foot on the other girl's thigh and she like shines her shoe with her
yeah,
jersey.
like buffing
That
her
one.
shoe out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or when they're doing the like, running
Oh
around
the
kind of flying thing.
yeah.
Those are great ones. And um then we see like Joe also has to like work at this bar and Jules is there like hanging out with him and again kind of flirting.
And the bar is right there where they practice, isn't it? At the field?
Yeah.
Is it because he talks about, oh, now I've got to go in and do my real job or whatever. I got to
Yeah.
open the bar. So is it part of is what they call it a pitch, don't they? The field
Yes.
is the pitch like part of that? Is it like a private club or something? You think or
I don't know. I think that it might just be maybe the same people who own the pitch own the bar and so they're
oh,
like you can
okay.
use this because he doesn't really get like paid.
Because like a country club like would have a golf course and tennis courts and stuff. I didn't know if
Yeah.
over there like a place like that would have a pitch or a cricket field or whatever they call that
Yeah.
for cricket. But
Yeah.
so
I
anyway,
think
I
they call it
just
a ground, but I don't know.
ground. Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I think that it might just be like owned by the same people or something.
okay.
Um So then we see like Jess is running with Jules. And meanwhile, her mom is like, you have to learn how to like cook a full Punjabi dinner with meat and vegetarian. So we see her like in the kitchen and I love she's like juggling, but with veg. And when I say juggling in soccer is obviously not with your hands. Like when you see people that can like
Yeah.
keep the ball up with their knees and feet and
Knees.
stuff and
She's doing it with
bop
a
it
head
all
of
around.
lettuce, isn't she? Like
Yes, and then she does it with a pepper too. Like that's what you call juggling in soccer. It's juggling with your legs and feet. So she's doing that, but with like vegetables while her mom is like telling her how to cook
Yeah.
aloo gobi and stuff. And then we see Pinky is hooking up with her fiance in her car at work. I guess she also works at Heathrow. Jess also mentioned her mom working at Heathrow at some point too. So it seems like the whole family has worked at Heathrow. But then she gets a call from the mom who's like, "Hey, pick up Jess from her job."
Oh, right,
And
right. We also see a lot of, well, not a lot, but there were a lot of shots of planes. I
planes, yeah,
thought,
I guess to
just
remind us that they live close to
to live close to the
Heathrow.
airport, so it's like, I know. Didn't they show
Mm.
that also they were playing foosball? We call it foosball.
Yes, that's like at the bar with like
Yeah.
Jules and Joe when they were like
So,
flirting. They were playing foosball. That's why I always called it foosball. I
so
used to
that
have a
was
table.
that was big when I was in college. It started to
Mm,
become big, so we would do that. So, and I will, no bragging, but I was a pretty good foosball player. But I always played back. I always played goal, and then
mm.
the back part. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you'd go to bars, and that was just starting to become popular. So,
That's cool.
foosball. So yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
I had a foosball table when I was a kid.
Oh,
Or one
nice.
that you could like kind of switch, like put something on top and it would be
Oh,
air
something
hockey
else.
and it was like, yeah, a bunch of
Yeah.
different things. Um, but yeah, gotta love foosball. Okay, so Pinky gets this call from mom that says go pick up Jess from practice. Jess is at practice, right? And they're getting ready to leave, and the other girls in the locker room are asking her, like, do you have to marry an Indian guy? Like, oh, could you date a white guy? And she's like, no, not a white guy, definitely not a black guy, and definitely not a Muslim guy. Um,
So she's pretty much
Indian guys. Yeah.
Indian guy.
But then they're like, are you gonna get an arranged marriage? And she's like, no, my sister has like a love match. Like, what's a love match? Yeah, but them's the rules. And they're like, oh my God, that seems like really oppressive. And she's like, I don't know, it's just like the way, like, it's just our culture. I don't know. So then Jess goes home and she's without Pinky. And her mom's like, oh, where's Pinky? And Jess is like, what? And right after that, Pinky walks in and the mom is like, Pinky, I told you to pick up Jess. Why didn't you pick her up? And Pinky is a good sis and is like, oh, when I got there, her boss said I had just missed her. And the mom walks away to do something. And Pinky gets in Jess's face and she's like, who is he? And Jess is like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I know you're sneaking around to get with a guy. And she's like, oh no, I'm sneaking around to play soccer. And Pinky's like, ew.
It's like that's not even a good reason to be out sneaking around. So
Right. You're
yeah,
lying just to
yeah,
play soccer?
I know.
Bleh.
What's wrong with you? Yes, you have issues.
Because again, as we heard, like Pinky is used to sneaking around. So like I do appreciate you gotta love like a real like sister moment where she peeps at Jess is sneaking around and she's like, I will cover for you, but I want to know what's going on.
That's right. You got to give me the dirt. And
I
then when
want
she
the
finds
deets.
out, it's like,
Ow.
oh,
Boo.
really? Ooh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then they are doing measurements for wedding garments. Um, so the
I'm
I had to
glad
do
you get to
this.
talk about this part.
I had to do this for my friend's wedding. Like
Did
we
you
gave her
really?
measurements and then she had our garments were made in India. So
Really?
I have a real Indian
What?
outfit that was
What?
made
What?
in India.
So wait a minute. Did you have somebody measure you, or you measured?
No, like
I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm
my
trying not to
mom
be
helped
nosy.
me.
Oh,
No,
okay,
we just had to give her measurements. Other
but you
than when
didn't
I
go to
got
a
my
lady. You didn't go
no.
to a lady. Okay, I'm
No.
just
Although when I
yeah.
got my top, it was too small and I had to have it let out, but there was a lot of allowance, so I had to go to a tailor to have it let out. But anyways, on that note, Pinky's getting measured and I love she wants her top to be really tight. And the mom is like, "No." The lady like gives her like half an inch of tightness though. And then Jess is going and they measure her top and she says the amount and Jess is like looser and the mom's like, "No." So she's got one daughter who wants it tighter, one daughter who wants it looser. And she's like, no. And then Jess is sort of more flat chested, especially compared to Pinky. And the lady measuring her, and she's like, oh, when we get her in my designs, one of my designs will turn these. And again, this is iconic quote for me and my friends, these mosquito bites into juicy, juicy mangoes. And Pinky and the mom like crack up at this. Jess not so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jess's face is like, oh my God, it's like this is not what I wanted, or not what I was intending. So
Yeah.
so and that so your stuff was made in India, so it wasn't even made here. They sent off to or they sent the measurements over to a person in India to have them make the dress for you, the garment.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. And I still have it. I
That's
haven't had
great.
another occasion to wear it, but just in case, I'm ready.
Never know.
Um, and then Jess asks her mom for money for to buy more shoes for the wedding. And the mom's like, okay, you buy one pair of white, one pair of black, they'll go with everything. But what she actually does is go with Jules into London to buy cleats, her own soccer cleats. She does also, to be fair, buy some black shoes, but they're very ugly. They're very matronly.
I don't know what kind of shoes you wear at an Indian wedding, but I was going to say when I saw those, I thought, oh my God, that's, although I don't know, can you see your shoes underneath the
Not
garment?
necessarily, but you would usually, I feel like people usually wear like a dressy, like sandal,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Or yeah,
heel.
or a little bit of a heel, like something,
Hmm.
little, but these were like work shoes, like,
Right? They look like if you like work in a restaurant.
right. Or yeah, you were on your feet like 80 hours a day or something. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So like Jess comes in with her bag and Pinky's like grabs her bag. The mom's like, "Show me your shoes," and Jess is trying to go away, and Pinky grabs the bag, and they look at the black shoes, and the mom's like, "Not even a little bit of a heel?" And then they get to the second pair of shoes, which are the cleats, and they're like, "Hmm." Oh, also, she smells like smoke, and they think she was smoking. The mom's like, "You
mm,
were smoking?" She's like, "I was not smoking. I had to go to the bathroom. I went into a pub, smell my breath, Dad. I was not smoking." Her dad does smell her
smell
breath
her.
to confirm, but so they're very upset, and Jess is talking to Jules, and her mom wants her to give the cleats back, and she has to go get some actual shoes for the wedding. And Jules is like, "Come to my house later. Like, there will be some shoes there for you." And but they're talking so much, like they're doing sit-ups at practice, and they keep talking. And Joe is like, "Oh, is practice getting in the way of your conversation?" Jess run 5 laps doing we would call them high knees. He says knees to elbows, but we
Oh,
call
okay.
them
Is that
high
what? Oh,
knees, you know?
okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she has to run around the field, doesn't she, or
The
whatever?
field doing that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
lot. I would be
Because
tired.
like you said, the field
The
is
pitch
long
is
and
long.
big. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Grande.
yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe is a little put out.
Hmm.
Because after all, he does want to win. I mean,
Right. He's
yeah,
like, we are not here to socialize. We're
right.
here to practice.
That's
So,
right. Yeah,
also, good on them for being able to talk that much while doing sit-ups.
I couldn't do it, but
No.
I couldn't do that in my better days. So,
Yeah, I was like really good at sit-ups when I played.
did you do the Rocky sit-ups? Where somebody hits you in the stomach?
Maybe at karate, not at
Okay,
soccer.
not in soccer.
So then practice finishes and Joe is like, "Okay, Jess, you can stop." But she like keeps running and he's like, "Stop." But then it turns out she also twisted her ankle. So he's like, "Why did you keep running?" And she's like, "Well, I wanted to show that I wasn't like weak or whatever." And he's like, "That is stupid. That's how I hurt myself because I was trying to show my dad that I was
Yep.
strong. And guess what? Now I can't play." So
Yeah.
then he like checks on her foot and ankle and it also does feel like a moment. He like takes off her shoe and sock and is like
Mhm.
holding her foot and
And
ankle.
starts rubbing her ankle, and then
Hmm.
yeah, there's a little bit.
Also, I will say, just from a sports medicine perspective, I always read that if you think someone might have sprained their ankle, you leave their shoe and sock on so it
Because
doesn't swell.
yeah, it'll blow up like a balloon right after you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, what are you up to, Joe?
Well, once you get a sight of the ankle,
I mean, I guess that's what they were saying in the 1800s, right? You
exactly.
show them a
Yeah,
little bit
show
of
them
ankle, they're gonna want the whole leg.
the whole leg. That's right. So if they see an ankle, that you got to get a ring. So
Um, So yeah, then afterwards, Jules has Jess over her house and she gives her some of her mom's shoes for the wedding, which are these black shoes that her mom has glued a little pink bow on, which Jules says my mom added the bow specifically. And then Jules shows Jess WUSA, and you see highlights of like Mia Hamm and Brandy Chastain and other women in the league. And then Jules' mom comes in and she's like, "Oh, you have like an Indian friend. You Indian people know how to respect their elders, right, Jess? Jasminda." And they, "Are you gonna have an arranged marriage, Jasminda?" And, "Oh, how did you all become friends?" And Jules says, "Oh, she plays football with me." And the mom's like, "Oh, oh." And then she leaves.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
She was
you're
like excited for Jess to like influence Jules.
thinking that she was a traditional, young
Yes.
lady, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, she was going to be like, oh, you should be respectful of your parents and do what they tell you to do, and oh, you're a footballer.
And then she was just like, "Oh."
Yeah, yeah.
Womp. Disappointed. Um,
I will say I do like the lady that plays her mom though, because she does do a
yes.
good job of trying to be kind of supportive, but really like like going, oh, this is not what I want for you, and all this other stuff. And evidently,
Right.
I get Jules is an only child,
Yeah.
because I don't see any other siblings.
It looks that way. Um, and then Jules and Jess, I guess Jules accompanies Jess to like the bus stop where she's waiting for a bus to go home, and they're like cracking up about that situation, about how disappointed the mom was when she heard they were footballs. And they're kind of like hugging and laughing and like throwing their heads back and stuff. And you see someone drive by, like an Indian woman, and she's looking like, "What?"
Mm.
And so then Jess goes home. Oh, before she goes home, she's talking to Jules and she's like, "Do you like Joe?" And Jules like, "No."
Yeah, because
And
Jess
she's
is like,
mm,
hey, I liked him rubbing
Jess,
my ankle.
right, Jess's little crush maybe. So she's like, "Oh, like you don't like Joe, do you?" And Jules is like, "Nah." And by the way, and anyways, like, he's our coach, so it's off limits, like he'd get fired. And she's like, "But I wish that like there were more guys like him because like everybody else sucks." So then Jess gets home and everyone is upset, and Pinky's fiance's parents are there, but they leave and they seem like kind of disgusted with Jess. And basically, it was the mom that had ridden by, and they have called off the wedding because they saw Jess kissing an English boy. And Jess's parents and Pinky are really upset. And Jess is like, that did not happen
Yeah,
at
she's
all.
like, yeah, she's like, it's like you
She's
could have
like,
said
"A boy
I was
kissing
a
a boy?"
werewolf. It's like,
Right.
no, yeah, it's like, no, that's
What?
crazy. I wasn't with, I haven't, don't have there's no boy.
Right. And she's like, and they're like, "Oh, you were at the bus stop." And she's like, "I was at the bus stop, but with my friend Juliet, and we weren't kissing. We were just like laughing and like talking." And they were like,
Yeah, I think they hugged each other or something, and then
"Yeah."
yeah, and then yeah,
And the mom is like, "Oh, God, those English girls and their short hair, it's so hard to tell."
and as good in defense, Jules' hair is very short. It's short like a
Yes.
boy's hair, so
Hmm. And
like Beckham.
yeah, not as short as Beckham's hair was at that time. He had the Beckham buzz cut. But
Did
yes.
he? Okay,
Uh but Pinky's still mad because her
yeah,
life has been blown up. So she's like,
the
"Well,
wedding's
guess
off.
what? Jules is still playing. Jess is still playing soccer."
She rats her out.
Yeah, and then we see kind of a series of events happening as the wedding is like officially off. So like Jess helps her dad take down the decorations. You see Pinky and her fiance kind of fighting, and then Pinky's in her room crying, and Jess is comforting her. And there is a song playing that sounds like Celine Dion's "The Power of Love," but like
Oh, I didn't.
Hindi.
Oh, ooh,
It's the one that's like, "I'm your lady and you are my
I missed that.
man." It sounded like, yes, it's a Hindi cover of The Power of Love. Thank you. God, I'm on it. Sorry. But I'm looking at the soundtrack. Uh, yeah, Amara's Hindi cover of Jennifer Rush's The Power of Love, along with another Hindi cover of The Power of Love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they are playing a Hindi cover of The Power of Love.
Good catch. Good job,
Um,
partner.
thank you. Oh, there's also a Victoria Beckham song in this. I
Really?
wish. Yeah. I
I
think
wish
that
I
was
was married to
earlier.
David Beckham.
I don't know, it's called I Wish. And there's a couple Melanie C songs, actually.
Mhm.
At practice, oh my God, this moment was so like really triggered something for me because at practice, Joe says, Jules, come here to me, which is exactly what my dad says. Like, my dad doesn't say, come here. He says, come here to me.
Ooh.
I was like, ugh, dad. Um, it was weird. I was just like, oh my God, other people say that besides my father, which he says
Who
with,
said it first? Your dad or Jules or Joe?
I'm gonna say probably my dad, because this was
Oh,
2002. My dad had been around a little bit by then. He definitely
mm.
said it to me before this,
Okay.
and to many a football player. Um, so, anyways, Joe asks about Jess, and Jules says that her parents didn't know she was on the team. And Joe's like, oh, I should go talk to them. So he
What
shows up at the
he did
house.
say that he asked her, and she said, "Oh, they're good with it." And he said that's
Yes.
what he she told him, and she said, "Well, no, they weren't." And so,
Yeah. He did lie. She did lie to him.
yeah,
So he goes to their house and it is so awkward. They're all
word.
like sitting in the living room.
I wrote that, Lindsay. I said, "This is awkward."
The parents are like staring daggers at him, just like silent fury. And it's just like, they have like Guru Nanak's picture just looking at them because they're Sikh. So he's the founder of Sikhism. Um, and he apologizes that they didn't know. He wasn't aware that they didn't know, but he says that Jess has a lot of potential, and they're kind of like, "Who are you to tell us about our daughter's potential? She's going to go to university." And her dad is talking about how like he really loves cricket and he wanted to play cricket when he came to England, but he like no one would allow him to because of like being racist, not wanting an Indian guy to play cricket because he grew up like playing cricket in Kenya, and then when he came to England, like no one
And
would
he
let
was
him.
really good, evidently. He said he was
Yeah,
one of the best, whatever it was, whatever position he played in Kenya. Yeah, and they wouldn't give him a chance here. Um,
yeah. And Jess and Joe were like, yeah, but it's like different now. Like that's not what's happening here. But he's not trying to answer.
can
So,
I just say too, I
mhm,
at this point I kind of really admired Joe though for taking the
mhm,
initiative to go and talk to the parents because he could have just let it go and well, that's too bad or whatever. But
yeah,
and him even being young, I thought that took a lot of courage, I think, to go to, to the family and say, look, I understand. And he was very respectful. He goes,
mhm,
if I would have known, I would have talked to Jess. I would have come and talked to you.
mhm.
But now that, so I like that. I like that in him. He showed real character to me.
Yeah, and you can see he does really believe in her.
Yeah.
So, he's leaving and he Jess kind of walks out with him and he's like, it's a bummer that you can't play because the team has been invited to go play in Germany.
Mm.
And she's like, dang. But he's like, well, sometimes your parents don't always know what's best for you. And then he kind of leaves it with that. And then Pinky is not mad at Jess anymore, I guess, because she covers for her so that Jess can go to Germany with the team. They're meant to be with their cousins. So she's like, call mom twice a day, like da da da.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cover for you. So she drops her off to get on the team van to go to Germany, and they go to Hamburg. And they seem to play at night in a place that's very poorly lit.
I wrote that. I said, why is it so dark there? You can't see anything. It's
Right.
like, And this is supposed to be a big match.
Right. I didn't go to the nicest high school in the world, but guess what? When we played night games,
You
there
had
were lights
lights?
on.
Was it Friday night lights?
No, it's usually Thursday, but
Oh,
Tuesdays or Thursdays.
okay.
But like,
I
yeah, occasionally
know.
Fridays maybe, but like the stadium lights, you don't have lights? You don't have
I know.
Lichten?
I don't know. Yeah, but I did. I thought the same thing. I thought, why is it so dark? You can't see.
I'm glad that you also felt that way.
Yeah. Yeah, even in our high school, we had big lights, at the football field,
Mhm.
in the high school. And this was in the 70s. So,
Right. I almost made a joke, but I didn't. I was gonna say, and the light had just been invented.
exactly. Thomas Edison came out and wired the field. You don't know how much trouble it was to light all them candles before he got
Right.
there.
And then, God forbid, a wind comes through.
I know, that was a full-time job.
Anyways, the other problem with this game is that there are photographers there taking pictures,
Yes.
which proves to be an issue. And I guess at the end of this game, Jess has to take a penalty kick. She's fouled in the box. She has to take the kick, and it's saved. She doesn't make it. So they lose. And it's a real bummer. Um, which you might know about if you've been watching the World Cup, because there were in the previous rounds there were several games where there were PKs and people kept missing, having them
Hmm.
saved, kicking them over the goal, etc. So Jess is getting ready, like after the game, they're gonna like go out, and she's talking on the phone to her mom, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Pinky's making pasta. Oh my God, I have to go. She's burning it." So the mom says to the dad, like, "Oh, they're having so much fun, like with their cousins. They're being good girls. They're cooking even." And the dad is reading the newspaper. And these people must publish fast, I gotta say. Because he's flipping through, and what does he see but a picture of the Hounslow Harriers saying that they're playing in Germany, and Jess is in the picture.
Jess is in the picture.
Now, here's what I will say. I'm going to pause here. I think there could be, she just quit the team like 2 days ago. So I think that this is something she could easily get around by saying,
Right.
Dad,
They took that
they took
picture.
that
Yeah.
picture before I quit.
Yeah. This was the
Because it
team
wasn't a picture of
picture.
them in Germany. It was just a team picture that said they're going to Germany.
Right.
So, like,
I
I
know.
do think there was a way around this. I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
obviously, she didn't know that he saw it because he was like, call him back to the mom.
Yeah.
Call them back. And the mom's like, I just talked to him. He's like, call him back. The team's going to go to a club. Jess doesn't have club clothes, but thankfully, the team captain steps up as team captain to help Jess get club clothes and makeup to be ready to go out. I wrote here, oh my God, these early 2000s looks. Oh my God. It's so 2002. These little
Well,
handkerchief tops. I know,
yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just like
Oh,
watching it with 2026 eyes. It's like,
wait a minute. Did you watch the ESPYs last night?
no.
So, Alyssa Liu
Mm-hmm.
won for best breakthrough performance, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was. Handkerchief top.
Mm. Well,
Just saying.
the early
So,
2000s are back. It is happening. The way
I
people are dressing. They're trying to
when
bring
I
back
saw it,
low-rise pants.
I thought of this movie. I swear to you, when I saw her, it was like, oh, she must have gotten her wardrobe from Ben, like Beckham. So,
Right. This is like my least favorite era of fashion, and I can't wait until we're past it, past the revival of it. Because it's, first of all, it's truly made for people who weigh 12 pounds, like Keira Knightley.
oh yeah, yeah.
This is not a universal thing. Whereas I think other eras, like again, always very pro bringing back the 70s, a high-waisted bell-bottom pant works for everybody. Man, woman, tall, short, skinny, fat,
Mm,
everybody.
everybody. That's right.
Anyways.
We wore the what we call we used to call them baseball shirts. So
Mm.
and they were like a pullover shirt. Looked like,
Hmm.
I don't know why they call them baseball shirts, but they were kind of loose fitting and stuff. But they were
Hmm.
made out of polyester, but they were kind of dressy looking. So
Yeah.
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 So anyway,
So in the club, Jess is a little drunk and she like apologizes for missing the PK, and they're kind of just like, girl, it's fine.
Yeah, I was good. They were all very supportive, even after she
Yeah.
missed the kick.
Hmm.
They all, hugged her and stuff. And then, even Joe wasn't mad because
Yeah.
they played a
He's
good
like,
game. They
"Oh,
got to the point.
it's your lot, your English, and you missed against the Germans. It's your lot in life to miss against the Germans or whatever." He's Joe is Irish, so
Yeah,
that was my
yeah.
Irish. And then Jules is like really pressuring Joe to dance with her. And then eventually he does, but he's very reluctant clearly, and he's um but then Jess comes out to dance too, and he wants to dance with Jess. He pulls Jess over to dance with him. This is when a Mel C song is playing. It's called I Turn
Oh,
to You.
oh,
It's like
oh.
I turn to you like a flower reaching toward the sun.
Okay.
I turn to you. It's like a clothes. It's like that kind of music. Um,
Oh, do you want to tell our audience, those of you who are not familiar with Mel C's Spice Girls name?
Mel C is Sporty Spice.
There you go. So,
Truly, I would argue the best singer in the group.
okay.
I mean, she's singing like the lead part in most of the songs, so
Okay.
but we love them all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They couldn't exist without all five of them. Anyways, Jess kind of drunkenly stumbles outside, and then Joe comes and they're talking about their families. Like, he's like, your parents are wrong. And she's like, well, I can't just like give up on my parents. And she's like, what about your dad? And he's like, no, 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 my dad sucks. And she's like, well, you should like give your dad a chance. And they're having a moment where they kind of almost kiss.
Hmm.
But Jules comes out and she's like watching them and she sees that moment. And then she goes, you bitch, at Jess. And then she and Joe kind of, jump apart. She's clearly very pissed because when they get back, she just like
Oh, oh,
storms off the little bus.
oh, yeah.
And it gets worse for Jess because when she gets out of their little van, her whole family is waiting. Mom, dad, and Pinky are all there. And she's like, because I think someone goes, Jess, is that your family? And it's like, oh God.
Yeah, yeah, just when you think it can't get any worse.
Right. And then they're put to work, Jess and Pinky, because they're making like rotis, I think. Rotis are naan. And their parents are sitting in Jess's room like, why are our daughters like this?
It's
We try so hard, and why are they like this?
and they talk about, like all the things that they gave up, and stuff, and it went, and they tried to, they gave him everything. They gave him stereos and TVs, and
Mhm.
and everything. And then I thought that was, it's probably a universal conversation that every parent has at some point about their children.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like, there are particular things to like the immigrant experience, but I do think some of this is truly just like a generational thing, a parent-child thing. Like some of these things are truly like universal.
Where did we go wrong?
Yeah,
And you didn't. It's just that,
they're just different.
they're just different, every generation.
Yeah. And Pinky, even to Jess, is like, listen, like, I think you need to just kind of like give all this up and then like just marry an Indian boy. Like, what
Uh,
about
uh, uh,
Tony?
oh, yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get with like a white guy or something. Like, no.
Right. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
They're like great. She was like, they're much better now. They like know how to dress and have like cool jobs. Jess goes again to talk to Joe and says she can't play anymore. And they're talking about why are you trying to please your family? And she's like, I don't want to let down the team, but I also don't want to like hurt my family. So I'm like kind of in a rock and a hard place. And he's
Yeah,
like, basically, if you keep trying to please your family, you're gonna like grow to resent them one day. And she's like,
right.
oh, like you and your dad? And he's like, Yeah, like
Yeah,
exactly.
pretty much.
And she's like, what? Do you ever like try to talk to your dad? Like, why don't you try to talk to your dad? And he's like, well, I know what he'd say. And she's like, what if you don't? Like,
Yeah,
maybe you shouldn't just like give up. And he's like, well, you shouldn't give up either. But yeah, she's like, no, I can't. I can't. I've already like kind of ruined things and I can't like do that to them anymore. So she goes to see Jules and her mom lets her in and she goes in and they are fighting about Joe. Because she's like, you know how I felt about Joe? And Jess is like, I literally asked you and you said you didn't like him. And she's like, and then you kissed him. And Jess is like, I did not kiss him. I did
Right.
not actually kiss him. And Jules like, yes, you did. You hurt me and you know it. And like the mom catches for the mom is trying to bring them refreshments. They said no, but she's of course doing it anyway. And she hears snippets of this of like, you hurt me. I can't believe you did that. Like you broke my heart and like that kind of stuff. And she's like, oh my God. This is the lover's quarrel. My daughter was in a lesbian relationship with this girl. And she's like crying to Jules's dad about Jules being in love with a girl. And she's just like going on it. She's so funny. She's like, it's terrible what they did to that George Michael, putting
What?
all of his information out there in public like that. All of his private information.
Nancy,
And,
I wrote that down about how she talked about George Michael.
and the dad is like, she's not George Michael. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because it's not even close. I like how her Jules's dad like his his wife is like kind of ridiculous, you know, and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
It's so silly. She's so silly. She's just like,
Silly.
she's one of my favorite characters in this movie because she just
She
says the
really is.
craziest stuff.
But I wrote, I said, George, poor George Michael, exclamation point.
I love George Michael. May he rest in peace.
Yes, yes. Great
Miss
talent.
him. So Jess goes to the park and she talks with Tony. And she's like, so like, do you think we should just go out? And he's like, what?
She goes, what did she say? Do you like me as a girlfriend or something like that or something like that?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
And she confesses that she nearly kissed her coach. And and he's like, well, you can't plan who you fall for. And and he says like Posh and Bex. And she's like, well, who doesn't like David Beckham? And he says, he's like, I really like David Beckham. And she's like, well, yeah, like no one can bend the ball like him. And he's like, no, I really like David Beckham, AKA I'm gay. And she's like, oh. And he hasn't told anyone. And, he's like, I accept you for liking Goras and you could accept me for being gay.
Mhm. Yeah. It didn't did she say she goes, I always thought you fancied me, and he goes, I do, but not like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, everybody always, like Pinky always says, everybody always says. And he's like, not quite. I
It
mean,
caught
like,
me
look.
by surprise. I didn't see that one coming. Did you?
Well, it's hard to say because I've seen this before, so I knew that
Good
I
point.
already
Yeah.
knew it.
So, okay. Yeah. Good point.
So I'm like
No,
watching it through that lens. But I think I was
that,
surprised the first time.
nope. Didn't see it coming at all. So, would not have
Yeah.
guessed that. I actually thought he kind of carried a torch for her, but,
Hmm.
knew that she wasn't, she was only into soccer.
It was interesting to me too that her first response when she figures it out is, but you're Indian. And it's like, well,
I,
yeah.
you can't be gay. Yeah. Yeah. We're not,
Um,
Indians are gay.
yeah. So, but he's like, in the closet keeping it a secret. And then Jess is back on her bullshit because the family's going somewhere and she stays home, quote unquote, sick.
Sick.
And her sister Pinky is covering for her again. I do love that she's like, I feel like Pinky is like done every like 5 minutes, but then she's like, okay, I'm gonna cover for you.
Yeah.
That's a real sister.
It
And
is. Yeah.
but then, so as soon as they leave, she takes off her robe, she has her kit on, she's ready to go. And the dad forgot his wallet and comes back in and he's calling for Jess and no one is answering.
Yes.
And then we see that Jess has a match and Tony and the other boys are there. And of course the other boys are like, "Oh, look at the boobs on the captain." And Tony's like, "Can't we appreciate them as footballers?" And they're like, "Ha ha 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 ha. Hilarious." And then the dad comes to watch. I'm like, "Oh God." And I will say, despite Jess and Jules being at odds, they are able to work together to score two goals. Jess assists Jules to score a goal, and then Jules assists Jess. And Jules looks pissed about it, but
Mhm. But
they score some goals. And then some chick on the other team playing like she's like, I don't know, Uruguay versus France or Argentina pulls Jess down by her jersey, rips the daggone jersey.
mhm.
And then when Jess gets up, she's like, "What are you doing?" And the girl calls her a packy, which is like the worst slur you can call like an Indian person, especially I think in the UK. That's pretty,
Bad,
um,
right? It's bad.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So Jess pushes her and then gets a red card, which is like so messed up because also it feels like that's always how it happens in like any sport.
It's
It's like
always the
somebody will
second
do
person.
something, yes, somebody will do something totally messed up and you do one thing back and the ref catches you.
Right. It's always the second person that gets caught. It's never the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Football, that's the same way.
Like one time when I was in high school, you get a red card for like cursing if the ref heard you. And this girl on the other team called my teammate who played like we both played center midfield, called her like an effing B or something.
Hmm.
And this girl on my team said, "Shut the hell up." And the ref said, "You said shut the F up. You're out." And it's like, first of all, she did not say that. Second of all, the other girl cussed first. But she got a red card. So she was out. And we had to play with 10 people the rest of the game. And she got so mad she kicked over a trash can. But it was valid. And then the problem too is if you get a red card, you can't play the next game either,
Unless you play for the United States.
unless Donald Trump intercedes on your behalf with Infantino. But you know, he won the FIFA Peace Prize. Okay, that means something. Anyways, and we saw how it worked out. Also, shout out to Flo Balogun. I'm sorry that you got all caught up in that nonsense. I felt bad for him. He didn't do anything.
No, no, but
Anyways, so later in the locker room, Joe is like yelling at Jess, like, "You got to keep your cool. You can't be doing that." And then, especially because we learned this is a tournament and they've made the final of the tournament,
right.
which technically Jess should not be allowed to play in it, but we'll suspend disbelief on that. Again, maybe Donald Trump made a call and she is allowed to play in the next game.
Well, either that or it was probably Bush. So because
Yeah.
Bush was, yeah, Bush made the phone call.
Yes.
So
George
yeah,
W. Bush made a call. Tony
yeah,
Blair
right, yeah.
called someone.
T.
Yes. Hello. The Queen interceded on her behalf.
Exactly, exactly.
Um, So then outside the locker room, Jess confronts Joe, and she's like, "You didn't have to yell at me like that in front of everybody." And she's like upset and crying, and he's like, "I get that you were fouled, but you can't like react like that." And she's like, "That wasn't the issue. Like she called me a packy, but you
Hmm.
wouldn't understand what that means." And he's like, "Of course I do." And I was like, "No, you don't. Are you? Because you're Irish?"
Yeah,
And like,
well,
listen, I know there's a lot of like anti-Irish and English sentiment, but I'm like, it's the flavor is different. The
yeah.
flavor is different, I think.
I
But
no,
I could see maybe why an Irish person
he.
would say that.
I was gonna say him being Irish. I could see, maybe he's thinking back during the Troubles,
Yeah.
and not, yeah, not
Um,
quite the same. It'd be,
yeah. So, but no one can tell you're Irish by looking at you. And then of course they hug and the dad walks up right when they're hugging and it's like, "Jesus Christ, she can't catch a break."
can't win.
But then they get home and Pinky's fiance and his parents are back. And you hear them saying like, "Oh, our son was so sad." And they're like, "Oh, Pinky wasn't leaving her room." They're like, "We can't stand in the way of their love." So the wedding is back on.
Back on.
And because you can see Pinky's like on the stairs, like listening, like,
Oh, I
"Ooh."
know. Like, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then, of course, they're immediately like, "Dad, call the hall, get a date."
Oh, right.
And of course, the only date they have for the next 5 months is Sunday the 25th. And what is happening on Sunday the 25th? The championship game, the final of the
Final
tournament that Jess's team has made.
that the Harriers are in.
Yeah, and Jess looks at her dad. She's kind of like, Dad. She doesn't even say like what it's for, but he's like, your sister needs you.
I wrote that. Yep, your sister needs you. That this is it. You're going to do this.
Hmm. And it's so sad. Jess is like cleaning her, she's scrubbing her cleats off and just
Oh, I
crying.
know. Yeah.
And then later Jules has to Joe kind of summons Jules to talk to him. And she's sort of ranting. She's like, why do you want to talk to me? You just want to be with Jess and blah, 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 blah. You don't want anyone else to make it because you couldn't make it. You lied about everything. The American Scout is never coming. Da 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 da. And he's like, the Scout is literally coming to the final. And she's like, oh, oh, I didn't realize. And he's like, I get it.
And the scout was not only coming to see Jess, but coming to see Jules too,
Jules and Jess, yeah.
because he spoke about both of them. He said, he goes, I talked about both of you.
Hmm. And then I will say, Jules, that must have sort of humbled her a bit because
Mm.
her next stop is to go talk to Jess. And she's like, listen, the Scout is coming to see both of us. And she's like, my sister's wedding is that day. I can't go. And she's like, well, can you like get away from the wedding? Jess is like, no.
No, no, the
Um,
sister of the bride.
yeah.
I
Although
think
Indian
that.
weddings are very long, so I don't know that
Oh,
someone would notice.
oh, really?
The ceremony was 3 hours.
Oh,
And you don't have to like pay attention. Like people, they bring you refreshments and stuff. People are just like chatting amongst themselves.
really?
Also, because it's in like Sanskrit, which no one like knows.
Knows? So you really don't even know what they're saying?
Right. It's like if you went to church and they spoke in Aramaic, you'd be like, okay,
Whatever. Is
yeah,
this the
love the
part where I
vibes.
clap?
Yes. Do I stand up, sit down?
Yeah.
So then I love this part too. Jules goes home and her dad is like set up, they are having dinner outside and he's set up condiments and he's trying to explain offside to the mom. And Jules is like, what are you all doing? And the mom is like, I've decided that I need to take an interest in football or I lose you. So I'm taking an interest in football and now we can all go watch it together as a family. And I was like, that's so cute.
I know. She said, if you can't beat them, join them. So,
Yep. And she had like some soccer magazines, and Jules was like,
yeah.
oh, you read these? And she's like, yes. Did you know that there's a player on the England team who's like works as a school teacher and she has a husband?
And yeah, and is married. So,
Yes.
yes.
Married with kids,
Hmm.
which is obviously what matters to Jules' mom. But um, Jess gets her school results. She's gonna get into university. I love that part. The mom is just
Yeah.
like praying so much, and Jess is like, can we hurry up?
Yeah, just open it.
Come on. Uh, and then Jess is in the back hanging laundry, and then her soccer ball's back there, and she kind of gets tempted, and she uses the laundry like a wall to practice bending the ball around it. I love that. It made me think of my grandmom's house when I was a kid. Here in Maryland, she still hung laundry
Laundry
outside.
to
Yeah.
dry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those were the days. Clothespins and clotheslines. And
Yep.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I like to help. Um,
Me too. That was part of my thing with my grandmother. I would help my grandmother hang laundry because she would still hang laundry out on the
mm.
line. So,
So, at practice, Jules tells Joe that Jess can't come to the game. It's her sister's wedding. She's not going to make it. And he's
yeah.
disappointed. Jess is also, it seems like she's kind of giving up the whole soccer thing. She takes down all of her
I know that was
David
sad.
Beckham and Manchester United stuff, which is sad. And you can see even her dad goes in there and he's kind of like, oh, he's like
Yeah.
looking through it like,
Yeah, he's looking at all the things because I get, like you said, they've probably been up there for years.
hmm. Yeah,
So,
to the point that she's in there talking to David Beckham.
right, exactly. Yeah. I even wrote down WWBD. What would Beckham do?
Yes. Um, and then it's time for wedding festivities. So we see one that I remember it's called a haldi or piti, which is when she was sitting outside and they were putting like the
Oh,
yellow
the
stuff on
yellow
her.
stuff on her face.
Yeah, it's like turmeric. It's like a
Oh,
turmeric paste and it's supposed to be like purify and bless her and like make her glow. So like
and
I
she's got
participated in that.
like little things like stuck on her face, like not jewels, but like they look like little shells or something around her eyes and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got
So,
all sorts of little
hmm
adornments. But yeah, like that I remember doing that. I had to help my friend like rinse off and change
rinse.
after
Oh,
that.
really? To get
Because
it
like
off?
everybody, all your like family and people
Oh,
get to
has to do
come
it.
put some on you.
Okay.
Um, and then like you see them, they're like making samosas, and then they're doing another thing. I had to look it up because it's a Punjabi thing, but it's called like Jago ceremony. That was
Jaga.
when you saw Jess with like they were having that she had that thing on her head with like the candles and was like
Oh,
spinning in their
yeah.
living
Uh-huh.
room.
Yeah.
That's a Jago ceremony, which is it's a Punjabi Sikh thing. So I have
Okay.
never done that. But and then we were kind of intercutting that like with the team is training. And you see
Right.
Jess clearly still wants to be there because like she's dribbling the ball around in the backyard like while they're having all these parties. And then Joe goes to their house and like peeks in. He goes again. It's like Joe.
I know.
Um during the Jago thing. And the dad comes out and he's like, can I help you? Because he's like
Yeah.
peeking in their front window.
I know. He's like looking through the
He's like
door or
in the
whatever.
bush.
Yeah. Like
Um,
sneaking around.
and
Then Joe tells the dad, doesn't he? This is where he
yeah,
says, "Hey, look, there's a scout coming from
yeah.
America."
And he says, please don't let her talent go to waste. And then Jess comes out and she's like, what's going on? And the dad says, don't play with your future. And Joe kind of goes after, or Jess goes after Joe and she's like, what's going on? What's happening? And like, I'm sorry about this. I'm like, I'm going to uni, so I'm not even gonna have time to play soccer after this. And like, and he's like, well, the scout is coming and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, every time I'm trying to sort of like get soccer like out of my life and out of my mind, then you come back and like give me this like hope or something.
Put it back into my space or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And he asks her if she's promised to one of the guys in there. And she's like, no, I'm not promised to anybody. And he's like, it is hard with your family, but it is good that you like have a family that cares this much about you. Like that
Yeah,
is something. So, hope the wedding goes well. This is also where I noted there are a lot of people in their house.
a lot of people.
hmm And then it's the wedding day, and you see Jess's family. They're all ready, while the team is getting ready for the final. And then we see some things that I also recognize, which one is the barat. So did you see when like the guy was riding on the horse
Yes.
towards them? And like, so that's how it is like the woman's family is like all together, and the guy's family like all come in like that.
Oh, okay.
And they might be like dancing and playing music and stuff like that. Because I think like traditionally in India, like you would go like from your village to like
Oh, to the
the bride's
village of.
village.
Okay.
Yeah. So like when my friend got married, it was at a hotel. So they went from the back to the front.
Was he
And
on a horse?
yes, he was on a horse.
Really? So they had a. So they had. Oh, no kidding.
They got a
Oh.
horse. And I was so happy to be on the bride's side because it was this time of year and we
Oh.
got to be in like the hotel entrance.
So it was cool.
Yeah. And it was so hot out there.
Oh.
And then you see like the ceremony and you see them leaving the ceremony with like the flowers and throwing flower
Yeah.
petals. And then they go to the reception and which is like in the hall, which again is like not huge, but maybe they didn't have as many people. Like the wedding I was in, there was like 200 something people there. So
Whoa.
they need a lot more space. So during the reception, Tony pulls Jess aside and is like, okay, if we leave right now, we can make the second half of the match. And she's like, I can't leave. It's my sister's wedding. They need me here. And her dad is like, overhears this. And he's like, listen, you look so, like, Pinky is so happy today. And you look like you're at your father's funeral. If going to this soccer game will make you come back with a smile on your face for the wedding video, then go. but you better be smiling in the video when you get back.
Yeah,
And they're playing some good like this is called like Bhangra music, that's sort of like a hip hop beat and like Indian music.
I know this from Dancing with the Stars because the gymnast, oh, who was the one of the gymnasts danced with Derek Huff to Bagram, uh,
Was it Sean Johnson?
Sean Johnson, and
Hmm.
did a fabulous job. But it looked like one of the most difficult dances I've ever seen, but it was to Bagram. So
Yeah. It's like it can be very fast. Like they
it
also
was,
always used
yeah.
to do on So You Think You Can Dance, they would do like Bollywood dancing
Oh, okay.
with like an actual like Indian guy named Nakul, usually, who was the choreographer, but like it would be hard. So it's fun. It is fun music. So Jess arrives, the team is down 1-0. We also see the mom is like looking for Jess at the wedding. She's like, Jess Minder, where's Jess Minder? But then there was a conga line, so she's distracted.
Yeah,
One of the things I love about an Indian wedding is it's very colorful. And there is a man in a yellow suit, which reminded me of sort of, it was like David Bowie, the yellow suit with the blue shirt under it.
mm-hmm.
And so back at the game, Jules scores. And her mom is there. I love her mom is there dressed for the royal ascot. She's wearing a huge
Yes.
hat. Like it's a royal wedding. So funny. Like she's
It's
going to the polo.
uh-huh. Yeah. She's fabulous. Yeah. She looks like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman.
Yes. Then a chick on the other team takes out Jess's ankle, her bad ankle. I was a little worried about her. The
I
team,
know.
like, oh, it was kind of funny. The team, like, briefly checked on her and then they were like, okay, you take the free kick. I was like, don't you want to make sure that she's like, okay?
I know. I was like, because she looked like she was really banged up and stuff. And
Yeah.
then you think, okay, is she going to be able to, even get up and walk, much less take the kick?
But then she gets to take a free kick, right? So it's the goal, the wall. She gets to bend the ball around the wall. She gets to bend it like Beckham. But it's funny when she's looking at the wall, it like morphs into her sister and her mom and like aunties like being like, "Jess,
Yeah.
what are you doing?"
Also, they played one of my favorite songs during the time when she's getting ready to take the penalty kick.
What
Nessun
song is?
Dorma,
Oh, yes. That is
um,
on the soundtrack
the
listing.
soundtrack. Yeah.
So, Jess bends it around the wall into the goal. I did love this horrible shot. It's like this slow motion shot of the goalie like standing there and doing a very fake like, "Oh no, I'm trying to reach it." It was like a perfectly reach savable ball for her, but they were
Hey,
doing this very fake like, "Oh no, I'm falling." It's like she looks like people in like the infomercials who are like, "Oh no, I can't like hold a piece of paper without falling down the stairs or whatever, you know?" Like
I
that's how
know.
she moved in a horrible slow motion, but it was very funny. But they win. That's the winning goal because
Yep.
the whistle
That's
blows shortly after that. Um, and then I love Jess has to leave again, so all the girls are helping her wrap her sari. Because like if you don't know about a sari, like the skirt is really, 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 really long. So you wrap it around you like a million times, and then you do like a pleat and like tuck it in.
oh, okay.
So it's like imagine when you like take a towel and wrap it, but it's like the long like a super like it's like 10 times longer than that. So you have to keep wrapping.
Well, it's how a real kilt is done too. That's the same way.
Hmm.
It's like a blanket and they just wrap it around you. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then you have to, yeah, we learned that over in Scotland. They showed us how they did it to one of the people on the tour. They
Oh,
wrapped
nice.
a kilt around him. So, but he had to
Nice.
lay down
Mm.
in order to do it. So
Yeah, I've had like when I was going to like weddings and engagement things, I had to get the aunties to help me
to get you fitted
wrap and
out.
pleat and drape over
Yeah.
my shoulder and stuff like that. And there's like different styles to like drape. It's like, oh,
Oh,
let's do it the Gujarati way, let's do it the whatever way, you know. So yeah, that was cute seeing them
yeah, it was
help her
all
do
helping
that.
her out. Yeah, to do that. So
So but then Jess and Jules talk to the scout right outside the locker room. And then they like hug and like looks like give each other like a kiss on the cheek or something. And
hmm
of course, Jules's mom sees this and she's like immediately upset again because they were like her and the dad were like sitting there eating popcorn like kind of happy like oh my God, this looks like it went
Yeah.
well. And then she's like, "Oh God." And Jess returns and she's so happy. She's right back into the dancing. The pictures will be good. I also love you can see Tony kind of getting a little flirty with
Yeah,
a guy, you
yeah.
know?
Um, yeah, it was kind of he was yeah, because he drove her to the match and then drove her back. So because Tony's a stand-up guy. So
Yes, Tony is a real one. Tony is a ride or die friend. Pinky is a good sister. She's annoying sometimes, but she does show up for Jess. She's got some good people around her.
oh yeah,
And her
yeah.
dad. Her dad was
Yeah.
like, you should go. Jules's mom is so upset. They're getting ready to leave. They're in the car, and she's like, I told you it is the football. It is the football. And Jules gets in and she's so excited because like this coach is from like UC Santa Clara and like they can get a full scholarship and play on the soccer team and da da da. Like her and Jess can go. And the mom is like, oh God.
Yeah,
And then
you're gonna live together and
so they go back to the house and Jules gets changed into some nicer clothes and she's leaving. And mom's like, where are you going? Those are your nicest trousers. And Jules is like, oh, I'm going to meet Jess at her sister's wedding. And the mom's like, ah. But then the mom's like, I'll drive you. I'll drive you. So meanwhile at the wedding, it's like the end when they're kind of recessing out, getting in the fancy decorated car, and it's, sort of an emotional moment where
it's
it's like
It's a Rolls Royce.
it is Rolls Royce with a fancy dress driver too, and it's like draped in marigolds. Very
Yeah, I was
nice.
good. Yeah, oh yeah. It's an
It's
old
sweet.
Rolls Royce. Yeah, so
Yeah. And it's like she's hugging her parents. It's like she's symbolically like leaving the nest, whatever. It's an
right.
emotional moment. And Jules and her mom roll up and Jules is like, "Oh wow, look at how colorful everyone is. Isn't this beautiful?" And Jules goes up and hugs Jess. And then the mom is just like so incensed. She gets out of the car and stumbles up. She's like, why were you kissing my daughter? And all the India people stop and look at her. And she's kind of like embarrassed. And then she sees that Jess is wearing her shoes. And she says, get your lesbian feet out of my shoes. And this is like my favorite. Some of the old Indian aunties, one of them's like, lesbian? I thought her birthday was in March. I thought she was a Pisces. And then one of them goes like, Lebanese? No, 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 we are Punjabi.
They're not Lebanese.
And Pinky's like, excuse me, do you do you mind? It's my wedding, innit? And Jules pulls her mom away, like, what the hell is wrong with you? And Pinky pulls Jess in the car and she's like, do you have anything to tell me? And Jess is like, no, no, not at all. We were actually like in a fight over our coach. And
Yeah, a
Pinky's like,
boy.
yeah, a boy. Pinky's like, don't you want all this? Like, couldn't it be the best day of your life? And Jess is like, I want more than this.
Yeah.
This is not like it for me. And I want to go to California to play soccer. And Pinky's like, Mom and Dad are never gonna let you go to California. Are you kidding? So Jules tells her mom, she was like, me. This is another part that always made me laugh because she's like, Jess and I were fighting over our coach. Joe, a man. Joe, man, man. He, Joe, man. And then she's like, also, like, what would be the big deal if I was a lesbian? And the mom's like, oh no, I have no problem with lesbians. I rooted for Martina Navratilova as much as the next person. That line always gets me too. Her mom
Yeah,
is like has the funniest lines to me.
she does.
And then back at Jess's house, it's sort of like that post-wedding. I feel like this is like a common thing too, right? It's like a big family event and it's sort of like the post-event like come down at someone's house. You're still kind of half dressed in the fancy stuff and everyone's just trying to like wind down a little
Wind
bit.
down.
And she's trying to figure out how she wants to she's talking to Tony and trying to figure out how she wants to tell them about California. And Tony's like, I have an idea. He grabs her hand and goes in and he's like, I want blessings. Jess and I want to get married and we want blessings like for us to be engaged. And my only condition is that first I want Jess to go to college anywhere she wants. And they're like, oh, okay. And Jess is like, no, 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 no. let me stop you. I'm like, I don't want to keep lying. I'm done with lying. Tony and I are not together. We're not getting married. The truth is, I played in the game today, and the mom is like, "What?" I played in the game today. Dad let me go, and then the mom's looking at the dad like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, you're gonna get it from me later on.
Yeah. But she's like, there was a scout there, and he wants to offer me a scholarship to go to uni in California, so like everything will be paid for, and I can play football there, and hopefully like have a chance to go pro. And the mom like ignores all that. And she's like, "You let her leave the wedding to go play soccer, to go play
Yeah,
football?"
she's still fixated on the fact that she
Yeah.
wasn't at the wedding the whole time.
And basically, the dad has come around because he brings up again cricket and how he was stopped from playing cricket. And he's like, that was my dream. I was so good. And I don't ever want to do that to my daughter. So, like, you have my blessing, go do it. And the mom is like, well, at least I taught her full Indian dinner. Everything else she'll have to figure out.
You, then she said, "Now it's in God's hands, or
Yeah,
whatever."
something like that. Oh,
Yeah, everything
it's
else
out of
is
my
in God's
hands.
hands. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Which I did like this part because also it didn't make sense to me as much before. Well, I guess it does. Though, because this makes more sense. Like, I was stopped from playing, therefore I want my kid to play. Like, that makes more sense to me than to be like, I was stopped from playing, therefore she shouldn't play either.
right.
And I
Well,
guess his concern was that she wasn't really being accepted.
right, that she would get hurt like he was,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah, but I think after seeing her play and then how people cheered her, and she was good, when he went to the one match, and then, that she, got offered this, that someone is giving her an opportunity to succeed where he didn't get that chance.
Yeah.
It isn't, not that I've had children, but, but every parent always says what they want is for their children to have it better than they did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Whether
So,
it's through their own efforts or through the effort, but that they want their life to be better.
yes, exactly. So, Jess goes to tell Joe that she can go. And he's like, "Oh, like that's great." He's really happy for her. And he's like, "Oh, also, I'm not your coach anymore, so we can like do
Yeah.
whatever we want." And he tries to kiss her, and she's like, "No." And I love that his immediate answer was like, "Your dad's not here, is he?"
Because he says, "I don't fancy getting jumped by your dad again." So,
Hmm. And she says she can't. She's like, "Listen, it's like really, really big for my parents to be letting me go to California, and like I can't throw a white boyfriend on top of
right.
that.
Yeah. It
Like
would
it's too
kill them.
much." Yeah, like I don't know if they would survive. And like plus I'm gonna be going to America. So this is gonna be a great distance.
Right.
So he's disappointed, but they hug. And then it's time to leave. They're in the airport, Jules and her family, Jess and her family, which is just her parents and Tony, not Pinky. It is sweet. Jules's mom gives her a little gift, and Jules is like, "Oh God, what's gonna be in here?" And just like, "No, you'll like it. Open it." It is an England jersey, like an
Mhm.
England national team jersey. And then Jess's mom is like, "You gotta call Auntie whatever in Canada as soon as you land there. I'm just glad that there will be someone close by." I was like, Canada's not that close, but I guess maybe they live in Vancouver, so they're like on that side. Um, and then Joe comes running into the airport, very rom-com. He runs like a noodle.
Yeah.
His run was, it was not like an attractive run. Like
He's
if he
also very skinny though too.
he is like tall and skinny, but like if someone ran to me like that, I would just be like, "Oh,
Well, maybe it's
you
these
want to try that
knee.
again? What if you try that? Go back, and then try it again, but like less weird."
I was going to
I don't
cut
want
him
to
some
kiss you
slack
after
because of
that.
his knee.
That's
So
true. Well, then
I know,
just
just
like
walk.
walk.
Yeah, with a limp.
You would look cooler if you walked. Anyways, he tells Jess that he got the men's job, but he said no because the women's team is actually going to be going pro soon, and he wants to take them pro. And he's like, "Oh, maybe like you can join the team if I can afford you in the future." And then he's like, "I wanted to tell you that, but also I came here because even with the distance and your family, Maybe we might still have something. And then they kiss for a bit. And I was like, Jess's parents must be locked in on whatever they're looking at because
Because they're not that far away.
they're not that far away. But
Um,
then,
didn't she say, "Well, I'll be back I'm coming back for holiday or something, or I guess at
yes,
Christmas."
first,
Oh, sorry.
Jules is like, oh my God, Jess, it's Bex. Pasha Bex, and they're sort of up on like the exclusive level walking by. And that is, sorry to disappoint anyone that's watching this movie, that is not actually David Beckham and Victoria Beckham. It's like people dressed as them. But in the movie, for purposes of the movie, it's them. And so Jess gets to go turn around and see them. She stops kissing for a minute to look. And then she tells him, I'll be back at Christmas and we'll break it to my parents then. And we'll work on my parents at that point.
Yeah, we'll spring it on them at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah. Then Joe says bye to Jules. She calls him mate, so she must be over it. And Jess and Jules go to get on the plane. And you see Jess's mom give Jules like a tissue, and then the dads shake hands and stuff like that. So it's cute. And then there's like a sort of flash forward. They send their parents like team pictures, and like Jules sends her parents both sweatshirts. And you see Pinky puts the picture on her mantle, and she's very pregnant. And then Jess's dad is playing cricket in the field by their house with none other than Joe. So
And
uh,
is it Jules's dad too is playing, or is it just Joe?
I think it might have been Pinky's husband
Oh,
was the
maybe
other
that's who it
person.
was. Yeah. Okay.
Um, but yeah, so I guess things went over well with the family.
Well, maybe Joe's trying to,
He's
ingratiate
working
himself
his way in. Yeah.
while Jess is away.
Yeah.
Oh, but your dad and I, we play cricket
We play
together
cricket
now.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
yeah. We
friends.
we watch all the cricket matches. So
Yeah, we have a universal hate for the English together. Um, so that's the end of the movie. I will remark on the credits. This is a lost art. Fun credits. Because they are playing like bloopers and like little extra clips with the song Hot, 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 do 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 do, eating
mhm,
hot, hot, hot. And it's like people dropping things and like the cast and the director dancing and like
right, making silly faces and
I miss bloopers during credits. Where are the bloopers?
agreed, agreed.
If you want me to stay and look at the credits, give me something to look at.
Just don't scroll the names and the
Hmm.
places and the
Yes.
locations. Exactly.
Yes. Also, wouldn't you want to do this because it gets more eyes on people's names? If you want people to see the names in the credits, put something else there, and then they will look at like they're gonna have to see them.
Right.
Anyways, but I feel like that used to happen like in this era and earlier. Like all the movies I watched when I was a kid all had like
Oh,
bloopers in the credits or like a song, something happening.
right. It's something fun. Yeah, where it would be
Yeah.
like, it wasn't just, just the straight, information, just,
Mm-hmm.
like like reading text. So, um, speaking of credits,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about who's in it. So Jess Bomra, the main character, is played by Parminder Nagra, who Jim and I both recognize as Dr. Neela Raskotra from ER.
so
Um,
good. So
she's been
good.
on other shows, The Blacklist, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a British show called D.I. Ray. She's been in some other things, but I mostly know her from this and
You and
ER.
me both. Yeah. Well, I know her from ER until this movie. So,
Jules Paxton is played by Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley we met before in Pride and Prejudice. She's also known for being in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Anna Karenina. She's in Star Wars Episode 1, Love Actually, Atonement, The Duchess, A Dangerous Method. She's been on some like shows recently. It's Keira Knightley. She's around.
hmm
Joe is played by Jonathan Rhys Meyers, who I think Jim and I also both mostly know from playing Henry VIII on The Tudors, which was a Showtime show before for
yeah.
several years, covering
hmm
the reign of Henry VIII. He was also in the movies Michael Collins, Velvet Goldmine. He was in a Dracula television series for a while. There was
Oh,
an
forgot about
Elvis
that.
TV miniseries where he played Elvis. He's in the movie Albert Nobbs, so he's in a bunch of stuff too. Jess's dad, Mr. Bamra, is played by Anupam Kaur, who has been in truly hundreds of Indian films. And he's been on like their like board of cinema in India and
Oh,
stuff like that. So tons of stuff. Other like American and British things he's been in. Silver Linings Playbook, Hotel Mumbai, The Boy at the Top Knot, the show New Amsterdam. Um, so tons of Hindi cinema, like I mentioned, including Dil, Lamka, Chahat. I don't know like which of those are like his biggest credits. It's hard to say, but those are ones that I think he got recognized for. So,
mm,
um, Jess's sister Pinky is played by Archie Punjabi, who you might recognize from The Good Wife. She's also been in Life on Mars, Blind Spot, Departure, Doctor Who, East is East, Yasmin, the movie The Constant Gardener. Jess's mom, Mrs. Bamra, is played by Shaheen Khan, who's also like a British Indian actress who's been in some other Gurinder Chadha movies, including Baji on the Beach, It's a Wonderful Afterlife, Casualty, a television show.
okay.
And she's also a playwright. So
Oh,
she's written some plays. Jules's mom, Paula Paxton, is played by Juliet Stevenson, who's been in lots of things over the years, including Truly Madly Deeply, Emma, Mona Lisa Smile, Being Julia, Infamous, The Enfield Haunting, Wolf, Reawakening. Those are just a few things she's been in terms of movies.
oh, okay.
The dad, Jules's dad, Alan, is played by Frank Harper, who has also been in The Football Factory and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And Tony, Jess's friend, is played by Amit Chana, who's been in other like TV and movies, including the English show EastEnders, which I think is
Oh,
like a
okay.
soap
I've
opera.
seen that. Yeah, I've seen a few, episodes of that.
Yeah. So that's who's in the movie. But yeah, I think it's just like a fun thing that is like kind of about soccer, but like not really. It's about people and their families. And, I think this is also such like a common trope in movies of like a kid having a different dream than the parents and the tension that causes. Like I think that's like a thing in like I think I thought you mentioned our last episode you afterwards you had mentioned like Billy Elliot. Like I think like, so many of these things, even like comedies like The Water Boy with Adam
Yeah,
Sandler, right? The
right.
mom doesn't want him to play football. Boozball is the devil, right? It's like, but this is such like I think because it's a universal thing
Sure.
of like parents wanting certain things for their kids and their kids want different things, things that don't feel secure, things that feel like they could be risky, and the parents don't want them to do that. And it inevitably becomes a source of tension.
That
And
or,
it can be comic tension or
yeah,
drama or whatever.
I'm not living my dream. I'm living your dream, that
Right,
sort of thing,
right. Trying to live
where,
vicariously through.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a line in like so many movies. Like, no, that's not my dream, Dad. That's your
Your
dream.
dream. Well, like even Joe talks about his dad pushed him hard to play
Hmm.
football to the point where he ruined his ability to play, drove him so hard where, and Jess's parents were just the opposite. They didn't want her to play at all. So, the two opposites. So, there was no happy medium there. But Joe never lost the love of the game,
Yes.
which is, kind of in a lot of stories and stuff. Sometimes when it's pushed upon somebody, they do abandon it. It
Hmm.
becomes a source of irritation or anger and a place of sadness instead of. But he said he never lost the love, just the ability to play.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think probably when that happens too, it's like not fun,
Right. Yeah. It's you get to the
but you
point where,
can, yeah.
you don't enjoy it anymore, or you don't see the the future in it or the potential in it. So, but I like the movie. I like the movie a lot. I mean,
Hmm.
to me, it's up there with the other movies, where you see like Rudy and stuff like that, which was,
Hmm.
a based on a true story, but something like what you said, where a young person has a dream and then they want to realize it, and then in this case, it was a sport that is popular around the world except here in the United States. So
Hmm.
about the effort and everything put into it, and like I said, I liked all the actors. I thought it was really well done, well casted, well acted, and
Hmm.
it was nice to see these people. Gosh, 24 years ago.
Mm.
That's hard to believe, that this movie is
Yeah.
24 years old,
Mm.
and but and to see all these people so young. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it was
Agreed.
fun. It was nice to see different cultures and stuff.
Hmm.
Like you said about, I knew you had a friend who was Indian, and then you'd been in the wedding. So I was going to ask you, and you talked about that experience about, was that, I'm sure it was shown accurately, or at least,
Hmm.
depicted on the screen when you look to see who wrote it and directed the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like somebody from, a different country said, "Oh, we'll pretend like we know what we're talking about." So,
Yeah. No, I think Gurinder Chadha,
yeah,
he's probably been to
probably,
an Indian wedding or two.
yeah, had probably even had one, maybe. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, so yeah, a
Hmm.
very fun movie. But it had been on not too long ago because I think I saw it was on USA or something. Maybe it was
Mm.
in coming
Probably.
preparing for the World Cup. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's a small movie. I don't think it's one of those. It was a popular movie when it came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like a sort of
Did
surprise.
did it do
Um,
good at the box office?
yeah, I think so. Critics were pleasantly surprised. It grossed over 11 million pounds in the UK, making it one of the highest grossing Black or Asian themed British films, and it earned 32.5 million in US box office revenue. So it became the highest grossing Indian themed film in the United States since Gandhi in 1982. And it was the highest grossing soccer themed film in the United States. And it remains the highest grossing soccer film worldwide,
Oh,
ahead of
okay.
She's the Man and Kicking and Screaming. I believe we're probably going to watch She's the Man.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it's another soccer movie at some point. But yeah, so it did well. It did well, I think,
Well, that's
especially,
good.
compared to like the budget and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Budget and expectations.
was it I was gonna say how much I was trying to see
Budget
if
of
they.
5.6 million,
Oh
box
gosh,
office,
yeah.
worldwide
Oh
box
yeah.
office of 92.
There you go.
So,
So,
yeah, I think it did pretty well.
unlike
Um,
movies now, which all of a sudden are in the whole $100 million after the first weekend,
right.
maybe
But
somebody
yeah,
should scale back.
yeah. They need to make movies of like this budget again.
I know.
That's what
We
you hear some people like the guy who won an Oscar for best screenplay, like I don't think it was this year but last year, but he was saying like how about instead of $100 million movie, we make $10 million movies. And it's
well,
like, yes,
that's the way it used to be. It used to,
right.
Hollywood didn't rely on, the one big blockbuster. They relied on a stream of good movies, but lesser budgets. So
Yes.
we don't need $100 million in special effects or CGI.
Right. And like listen, Jim and I, we like a Star Wars, we like a Marvel,
Oh
okay?
yeah. Oh yeah.
However, that can't be it.
No.
That cannot be it. Hopefully, if you've listened to us, you have gained some understanding that that's like very much not the extent of our taste. We like a little bit of everything. We like variety. We want movies about people and like lives and stories that are a little bit beyond like flash, bang, boom, pow
Yeah,
things.
I would say, if listening to, if you go through our inventory so far, what we brought out, maybe a couple of ones that that you would call blockbusters, but
Hmm.
Star Wars and then Empire Strikes Back and stuff like that. But
Yeah, and we did
but
like
those are
Indiana Jones and Jaws and
but
Independence Day, but like that's
those are
very,
very minute out of 200 and some odd movies that we've reviewed.
yeah,
That's not even like 1%. So
right, right.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, bring back a smaller budget movie. Like, look at what you can do with the budget for this movie.
yeah.
I
And
mean, is that why the Photoshop looked bad for Jess in that opening scene? Certainly, if you made it these days, though, you could do a better job for less
oh,
money. So,
you,
less
you
than
could
$6 million to make this movie.
you could probably do that on a laptop nowadays, but that took them,
Yeah,
some sort of like, great big computer thing to do back then. So you could probably shoot this movie on an iPhone.
probably.
It now it'd probably have to be a pretty good iPhone, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying. So, you
Yeah.
might have to get the iPhone 22 or whatever,
Of course, of course.
the one that's not out yet. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, but yeah, so I I concur wholeheartedly that not every movie has to come out and like you said, be in the hole $100 million, because it
Hmm.
didn't make $200 million at the box office its first weekend.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So I think this is a great example of that kind of movie
I
that we
agree.
need to
Great,
make more of again.
great pick, great selection. And a really good, entertaining movie.
Hmm.
I don't even know how long is the movie. I don't even know,
It's like an hour and 50. It's less than 2 hours.
but it seemed to go quicker than that. I thought.
Hmm.
There was no lulls. I will give it. At
Hmm.
least not to me.
Yeah,
There
I
was no
agree.
parts they didn't drag, and because I
Hmm.
thought they fit a lot into it. I thought everybody did a really good job of their part and so on, and then portraying their roles. The dialogue was funny,
Hmm.
and poignant too, to the where because you did have your funny moments, you had your sad moments, your um I like that they talked about the not only the differences in like even the differences in the Pinky's fiance, like they said, oh well, they always thought they were better than us. They drove
Yes.
one of the
And
things I
they
noticed,
drove
a
the
Jaguar
Jaguar.
instead of a
A
Mercedes.
Jaguar,
A Jag,
as they would say. Jaguar.
yeah, and even because Pinky's mom even said, well, they always thought they were better than us.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we even saw that difference, not only in difference in between the Indian people and English people, and but even amongst their own their own
Hmm.
families and stuff, like, oh well, they they're little uppity, or however you want to put it.
Hmm.
So
And again, I think that's like can be a universal thing, right? Of like in-laws
mm,
competing, like, oh, we're gonna put on such a good wedding. They're gonna have nothing to
oh,
say.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what Pinky's mom said when the wedding
Hmm.
was back on. Oh, we're going to put on such a great wedding. We're going to show them, what we can do, and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, it was good. Joe being Irish and coming from a different family background. So I thought it was
Hmm.
all very well done, and it was all put together very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if you're like missing soccer, you got World Cup fever, and you're like, oh no, I can't wait until next summer when the women play. Here's an idea. You can watch Bend It Like Beckham on various platforms, including Disney Plus, Hulu, and Tubi. Check it out. It's a fun movie, and hopefully something you'll enjoy.
Exactly. So, and then we'll we won't say who Lindsay's rooting for in the finals. I personally don't have a dog in the fight, so
Uh,
I'm
I'm it's more of a rooting against, I'm gonna be honest.
okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
But I think there's nothing more fun in sports than being a hater, I gotta say. I love rooting against people. Just like when
Um,
Tom Brady was playing, rooting against him constantly.
yeah, yeah.
And you
Well,
get such satisfaction if he gets sacked. Oh, beautiful. So,
it's the small things, right? It's the little
yes,
pleasures in life. So,
exactly. I'm hoping by the time this comes out, my wish will come true, but it's up to the football gods now. Um,
You've done all you can do. Now,
exactly.
exactly. You have to leave it
Or
in.
whatever FIFA wants.
That's
Whatever the
real.
corrupt organization FIFA decides will happen, will happen.
Exactly. Whoever gets paid off. So,
Yes. And I'm very excited for the third place match between France and England
yeah, that would be a good match. Now, when does that take place? Do we know?
Saturday.
Okay. So, all right. Because the
Finals
final
on
is
Sunday.
Sunday.
Hmm.
So, which I did hear, that was the other thing that because this week is also the week of the Open, which that's how
Hmm.
but we call it over here sometimes the British Open, the
Hmm.
last major of golf of the season. If
Hmm.
England had made the World Cup final, they were going to change the tee times on Sunday so that people in England could watch the World Cup final and not have to worry about who was winning the British Open. So
That's amazing.
that
That's amazing.
I know the fact
It
that they
makes
would
me
even
sad that they're not
I know
in the
that they
final
didn't.
now.
I know because I was kind of hoping that they would do that just because that's how much they hold the World Cup in esteem. Like this is
Mhm.
United Kingdom's national championship in golf, and they were going to move the tee times if England was
Yeah.
in the FIFA World Cup. So,
Yeah. I was in England in 2006 during the World Cup,
oh,
and it was
was it nuts?
wild.
Was it nuts?
So I remember there was like a whole controversy that like Wayne Rooney from England got a red card against Portugal, and Cristiano Ronaldo like winked, and I you could buy a newspaper that made that picture of Cristiano Ronaldo a dartboard, and his winking eye was the bullseye. And I
Bullseye.
loved Cristiano Ronaldo at the time, and I think I got it. Not to throw darts at,
Oh,
obviously.
okay, but gotcha.
But
So,
yeah, so it goes hard, and
but
I'm excited. I love it. And it's just I love when the world is united in sport.
yeah.
Watch Bend It Like Beckham and keep the soccer fever going, folks. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to this so you can get our episodes delivered to you every Monday when they come out. Please leave a rating, review, or a comment. Hopefully, it's a nice one, or we will send you to learn to make aloo gobi with Jess's mom.
Both vegetarian and meat.
Yes, you need to make the full Punjabi dinner. You can follow us on Instagram at Some of Our Parts Pod. You can see all the movies we've talked about. This is number 116. This is episode 116. So it's probably movie like way more than that. So there are many, many options to peruse. You can see little previews of what's to come the day before a new episode comes out and whatever else we decide to share. And with that, bye bye.
Take care.